Hello, people. Get people type in the chat if they can hear me, just to ensure everything is copacetic. Went from completely fine, and then right as I was about to hit the button, everything just crashed at the same time. It was like it was rigged from the start. On here, I'll share the link out on a few things, just so that people know what's up. Alright, now we're ready to begin. Now, I've only watched a little bit of this because I could tell that this was going to involve me, so I don't know. I know he does react to the stream, like the same stream that I did, so we shall see.
More than likely, you're here because you want the tea, you want the story, you want the info, right? Most of you are trolls. Most of you are here to give me a hard time, and it's fine.
Whoa.
A lot of people have been trying to persuade.
Let's take a second. Let's take a second there. Has it gotten? I haven't been over there. Has it gotten that bad? Is everyone there out to get him again? Is everyone a troll? I mean, I'm asking you all. I have no idea. Oh yes, I am gonna pause every time. See, no one said anything about it during my live stream, or else I would have done it. I thought the audio levels were good. Oh no, his audio levels are bad? Interesting. Okay. Give me a second. Hello there, Catch Out Kitchen Table. Alright, we'll back it up. How is he now?
And welcome to my channel. I guess. If you're here for the wrong reasons, more than likely. You're here because you want the tea, you want the story, you want the info, right? Most of it. Most of you are trolls. Most of you are here to give me a hard time, and it's fine. A lot of people have been trying to persuade me not to do this video. And truth be
Alright. Making him louder. Yeah, I could definitely do. Oh, whoops! Don't want to show everybody this. I don't want to accidentally show my what do you call it? Show my Twitter DMs on a live stream, accidentally, like certain Deity people did. Which I still can't quite get over why you would do that. Even I'm not that incompetent. I'm slightly incompetent, but not that incompetent.
told, this is a video that I have been wanting to do for quite some time now. All the way back. Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel, I guess. If you're here for the wrong reasons more than likely. You're here because you want the tea, you want the story, you want the info, right? Most of you. Most of you are trolls. Most of you are here to give me a hard time, and that's fine. Um, a lot of people have been trying to persuade me not to do this video. And truth be told, this is a video that I have been wanting to do for quite some time now.
Alright, cool. I'm definitely glad that's better. I know I can't make him louder. Anyway, I just like I said, I can't. I find it hard to believe it's gotten that bad over there. Everyone's a troll. Most people are trolls. I mean, I haven't gotten that many trolls. In fact, I've been sad. I've been trying to invoke some trolling, and it hasn't happened yet. So maybe I just need to act more like him, and I'll get some trolls. Let's move on.
All the way back to a little bit after New Year's Eve, honestly. I've been thinking of doing this video. People have been telling me, no, no, don't. But I want to. I want to. I want to take accountability.
Before he goes any further, I would just like to say I'm glad he's actually doing something his mods don't want him to do. That's a good sign. I mean, that's a sign that he is growing as a person, and it makes me hopeful for the rest of this video. I do not believe Deity to be a globalist or a reptilian. However, he is potentially a coronavirus spreader. We all are. So you can definitely accuse him of that. But we shall see what it is. I'm interested.
For the role that I have played in these various scenarios. And I also want to put the point across that while I do have some accountability to take, while there is a role that I have played, in a lot of instances it's being over exaggerated, it's being sensationalized for the sake of other people on YouTube having a sensational video that'll grab people's attention, right? Right. Another reason that I want to do this video is because of the fact that I want this to be done. I want it to be over with. The people who I have blocked, I've hidden, who've gone on to smear me and talk poorly about me and yada yada yada, I want it all to be done. You were blocked, you were hidden for a reason. I said that I was distancing myself from you for a reason. It was because of the effect you were having on me. And now more than ever, you're
That's a big thing. He really needs to not take the internet so seriously. I mean, I just couldn't imagine getting this upset over stuff on the internet.
proving yourself to be a hurtful, toxic person. But so have I, because I have engaged with you. I have had conversations back and forth with you all. I've vented, I have shared my frustrations, and I have allowed myself to be offended, insulted, indignant even, when what I should have done is pay attention to it, keep a watch on it, and just let it be.
That was very insightful. I actually completely agree. I think he has perhaps learned something. Now, whether he actually sticks to any of this is another story. But at least that part, that was pretty. That was right. That's exactly what I do. Yes, smear me. Exactly. What exactly have we done to smear him? I don't think I've smeared him anyway. I mean, I've basically just read out other people's things. But all right. Now I know he calls everyone toxic. I agree. I don't use that word. I didn't even know that was a term that people like threw around until the Onision drama, and that was yeah, that word annoys me, to be honest with you. And by the way, I'm not toxic. I prefer the term venomous. You see, toxic implies I'm corrupting the soup pot. A venomous, it's a controlled bite. It's much more civilized in my opinion. But anyway.
So I don't know. I really don't know how to go about this, but here we go. So unfortunately, this video is just going to be a lot of talking. A lot of talking. I could definitely include screenshots, and I may include a few here and there. I can include videos. I can include, if I wanted to, this video could be a damn series by now, and it's horrible. There are content creators on the peripheral of this thing who are not even involved, who are wanting to pick this up and use it for the sake of content, for the sake of views, for the sake of money. And I think that's sick.
Whoa. You just described YouTube right there. I mean, yeah, YouTube's a pretty sick fucking place when you think about it. It's full of vultures, piranhas, and the like. But you've been here a while. I think you'd have picked up on that by now. I mean, once you get to a certain point, you are the news as much as you cover the news. So, calling it sick, sure, but that's how the game is played. I like it. I think it's fun. It's like we're Victorian era socialites. But he seems to take offense to the whole thing.
Considering all of this stems from failed friendships, it stems from people wanting notoriety, people wanting clout for having this information and that information. And to be quite honest, in my opinion, a lot of this also stems from people wanting there to be some horrible dark secret in my past, and there's just not. There's not. So what they are doing is engaging in behavior that is inappropriate. They're saying horrible things to me. They're pushing me and pushing me and pushing me until they get a reaction. And once they get that reaction, they want to vilify me. But telling it that way simplifies the role I play. A lot of time in giving.
You're right. People do sit there and go at you and go at you and go at you until you react. And the more you have reactions that are amusing to people, the more it's going to happen. So that's just how it goes.
The reaction, I'm angry, I'm loud, I'm disgusting. It's not the person that I like to be. When I look at the content I've done recently versus the content I was doing when I first started, it's very apparent to me that I am definitely not the same person that I was when I initially started YouTube. And it's so sad to me. It's so sad that I allowed people to get under my skin to the point at which I would change as a person.
Okay, hold on now. He talks about all the time. I'm brand new to YouTube. And he's got like what, 8,000 subscribers. If he's brand new to YouTube and has 8,000 subscribers, and you change that quickly, yikes. That's a little insane. Like mad with power. Continue.
But I allowed that to happen. And I'm sorry. Another reason that I wanted to do this video is because of the fact that I had spent some time building up a community of people who had gotten used to the videos that I was uploading daily, who had gotten used to participating in my live streams, and who enjoyed the fact that for the most part it wasn't a toxic environment. They were coming there because they enjoyed whatever it is they enjoyed about me. I've seen a lot of people say that I've helped them. I've seen a lot of people say that they consider it to be a safe space, and I ruined that.
I could have swore at one time you specifically said you didn't want it to become some big safe space. You wanted disagreements and everything. I seem to specifically remember you saying that at one point. I see that things have changed.
I take ownership of that. I ruined it. How did I ruin it? I ruined it by feeding into the negativity. Because if I knew, I have a whole audience of people who want to be here for just a calm, laid back atmosphere for the most part, just for the conversation. And I use this community to vent my frustrations, to vent my anger, and to put across my message of how disgusted I was. And I shouldn't have done that to you all, and I am so incredibly sorry. There have been things that have occurred on my channel that some people are now insinuating that I'm trying to hide and act as if it never happened, but that's not the case. It's not the case. Yes, I do private most of my live streams. That's absolutely true. But I've never lied and said I didn't do something when I damn well did, you know? for the sake of this video, we are going to be taking a look.
As far as I'm aware, he actually hasn't full-faced, like, lied about anything. Okay, now he's a bit of a fuck-up. Okay, but he seems to be at least mostly honest about his fuck-ups, at least from his perspective. He's also just kind of a dumbass and seems to have no idea what he's talking about a lot of the time. But I don't think he's willfully lied necessarily. I think he's simply that misinformed, generally.
Look at a lot of these things, and a lot of them are definitely, actually, no, scratch that. All of them are not my finest moments. And that is why the general public is clamoring to get their hands on it, and that it's so laughable to me. But here you go. Like I said, I really don't know where to start. I guess we'll start with the New Year's Eve. December 30th.
I would just say that New Year's Eve, that live stream was ground zero. I wasn't there. I had a couple options, and I decided to go play The Witcher 3. And based on what I saw go down, apparently after the fact, I think I made the right decision. So, yeah.
31st, right? Is that how months work? I'm guessing so. The last day of December, before January 1st, I did a live stream earlier that day, and we were just having general conversation, yada yada yada. What are your New Year's resolutions? That type of thing. And I promised the audience that I would do a later stream that evening, like I typically do. During the time frame between the earlier stream I did and the later stream that I was going to do, things popped off on Twitter with Vincent Nicotra, who at the time was someone that I trusted, that I considered to be a friend. And I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, or hell, I'm probably skewed on the timeline. It may have been happening like the day before or whatever. I can't remember. But anyway, either way, things had popped off on Twitter. He was trying to insinuate that he had not made those tweets, or the joke about Greg, that his friend had done it, yada yada yada.
Oh yeah, Vincent. Yeah, look, I'm not gonna go after Deity for Vincent. I don't care. I couldn't care less. Vincent, at this point, I am a fan. Like, I wasn't a fan before he got fired, but after he got fired, I am a mega fan. Now, that dude is hilarious. I would have him on here. I would give him a platform to do whatever. So, I'm not going to say one bad word about Vincent or Deity in relation to Vincent. So, yeah.
Whatever. I've made a whole video about this. I've even reacted to the stream in that video, and it's on Deity Part 2. But yeah, so that night happened. Vincent came on the stream like he asked to do, and he acted a total fool. He said a lot of hurtful things. A lot of hurtful things. Most of them are things that I've gone on to reiterate myself. Not the R word, but about a specific individual, because at the time I didn't know that it was absolutely true. Now I do. Anyway, after Vincent did what he did and proceeded to dox people on Twitter and proceeded to use ableist language, I made the decision to distance myself from him. And it really hurt me because, and I don't know why I do this, and I think that if I didn't, I would have avoided a lot of these problems on here, but I have a tendency to put a lot into these connections, into these friendships. Vincent was someone that I looked up to because he had only ever presented himself as being a respectable professional individual to me.
Now, I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to get into their personal relationship or that or anything about it. But just watching, if you watch the Deity's reaction to the New Year's stream, it did seem like they were really, really close. Or whatever. It just seemed like they had some sort of personal interaction. So, I'm not doubting any of this. So, maybe he really did just have like a fallout. So, I'm not really defending what happened or whatever. Okay, I think he is responsible for what goes on his own channel, and it should have been his responsibility to put his foot down. But I could understand his position. I do. And once again, I am a fan of Vincent Nicotra. Okay, taking the Hanson vs. Predator website and linking it to a gay bathhouse is the funniest shit I have seen, possibly in the last 3 years. So, shout out to Vincent Nicotra. If you want to come on and do an interview, I will let you spew whatever nonsense you want to spew. I can't wait.
Always. I had come to know him as this person who was doing the right thing, who was sticking up for victims of abuse, who was helping to get justice, and who was working with Chris Hansen to ensure that that happened. And that stream and those posts on Twitter definitely served as a disillusionment for me. It definitely was almost as if reality cracked and I don't know, the universe seeped in, truth seeped in. I don't know, but it was weird. It was weird to have your perspective change so sharply about someone you cared about so quickly. I was definitely upset about the prospect that Vincent's words that night could have offended the people in my audience, because at the time I was friends with a few of the audience members who I knew were the parents of children dealing with autism specifically. Um, and just the thought of them being hurt after coming to one of my streams for the sake of conversation and having fun, it really upset me. Also, that was compounded by the fact that I was losing a friend, because this friend wasn't who I thought they were. They were not who they presented themselves as being. And I was very upset. Very upset. So I really don't know how to go about talking about the rest of this timeline, because from this point, onward, the rest is confusing. It's
Oh, there we go. I figured out the issue. Now all I was saying was that Vincent should probably or sorry, as far as him and Vincent go, uh the only mistake he made was not booting him off on New Year's stream. And then after the fact, he should not have gone on a live stream crying about it. He should have had a composed reaction and actually used it more like, I wanted to let Vincent expose himself or something like that. He could have worded it in such a way where he came out looking like the bigger person and the better person out of it. But he instead reacted very emotionally. That's all I will say as far as the New Year's stream goes with him. Yeah, I know. I have a little button over here for the mic, and I just forgot to hit it. Sorry, my mistake.
convoluted because a lot of this was taking place at the same time and still is. But I'm going to do my best, so bear with me. And keep in mind, when I speak in this video, it's all being said from my perspective, from my opinion, from my viewpoint. It's what I believe fully. It's what I believe. That being said, I can only.
Now I'm assuming that he's going to have done at least a little bit of research, right, going into this, because this is the part where I ended it originally, just about, where he said that this is going to be fully what he believes. So I want to figure out what he believes and then compare it to what the truth is and see where we can meet in the middle, hopefully.
Only speak to what my perspective on this is. I may do a lot of speaking about other people, their actions, the wrong they've done to me, but stay tuned, because I want to talk about me. I want to specifically go into detail about me and the wrong that I have done. I just feel the need to explain the timeline. So, even before New Year's Eve, I have been having problems with Real Stream News. You are all aware of that. Why? Because I chose to talk about him. I chose to comment on him in a video because it seemed to jive with the Onision content. And I felt a little like, well, if I'm going to sit here and talk about Onision, why shouldn't I talk about him? So I put out a few videos giving my opinion, my thoughts, my commentary on Real Stream News. So then I started having back and forths with him leading up to New Year's, and afterwards it all got worse. And I'll tell you why. At the time, I had two moderators. Should I say the names of these people or should I not?
If you don't say the names of these people, you are a fucking coward. And you're also a horrible fucking person for telling the story in the first place if you're not willing to use names. Might as well not even make the video if you don't use names. It's just how it goes. I assume he uses my name, right? Or does he literally just refer to me as that person? If I get referred to as that person throughout this entire video, I'm gonna have to find a way to make that a meme, because that's yeah. I'm assuming he uses names. Assuming.
I guess I won't. But I had two moderators, right? One was a female and one was a male. The male moderator was from a part of the world that I've always had an intense interest in, and I saw value in having him around because I was curious about his perspective and how it was different from ours, and there was so much that I was willing to learn from him, but he was more concerned with proving that he was just as, I don't know. I don't know what he was doing, but he was trying to prove something. He had this really weird sense of humor, this dark, edgy humor that was insulting to everyone. And pretty soon after allowing him into mod chat, which is something we have on Twitter, people started to complain about him and started to say that he made them uncomfortable.
Okay, for those of you here who are coming probably from his video looking for some content, I believe he's talking about Kanish in this particular instance. He was on live with Deity multiple times. I saw that. And yeah, I did an interview with him as well. And Holla Banana. I don't know if Holla Banana is mentioned in this or not. Okay, so my name does get dropped. Okay, interesting. Well, at least I get mentioned. So I get the clout. The rest of you all, I guess it's like, not with my time. Deity just cast you aside. I'm basically his arch nemesis, right? I've got to be at this point. Have I earned the right as his arch nemesis? Alright. Well, cool. Let's continue.
They didn't understand why he was in mod chat. They didn't like him there. He had said this, he had said that. He had offended this person. He'd insulted this person. I'm not going to be a moderator anymore because he's here. Like 3 or 4 people said that to me, and inevitably I had to get rid of him. The straw that ended up breaking the camel's back with that is that I had come to him and I was like, are you interested in doing a stream in which it's just me and you, and I'm asking you questions about your cultural and your religious background? He agreed. Okay. There is a significant time difference from here and that side of the world. I didn't mean that I was going to do the stream immediately, and I ended up going to sleep. I thought he understood. But no. When I woke up the following morning, I had so many messages from this individual saying, are you ready to stream? I'm ready to stream. Are we going to stream? Hey, are we going to stream? This is my one day off. Are we going to stream? I'm only off today. Can we go ahead and do that stream? It's not fair that I have a job and the rest of you get to stream whenever you want. It's not fair that you made me waste my off day. You made me waste my only day off. And it was like really weird, as if he was trying to put that guilt on me. And
Just dawned on me, actually. I have the screenshots of that exchange. I never used it in a video because I think it didn't make the cut for the third one, and I never got around to making any more of them. So maybe I will show receipts along with this. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know if I actually have enough of screenshots or anything like that left for a full video. But we'll see what he actually gets into in the rest, because we're only 13 minutes in.
guilt me into giving him preferential treatment or something. I don't know. It was off-putting. That, on top of how insulting he had been to every other moderator in mod chat, I just chose to get rid of him. So I hid him from the channel and I blocked him. I didn't engage with it. In fact, in the messages that I was sending him planning this stream, I even mentioned that I wanted some time to get accurate questions ready. So I don't know. Anyway, I got rid of him. Then
To your question, Hogan, from what I recall from looking at the screenshot, the way he's making it sound is a little embellished. He's making it sound like he was harassing him. I didn't see that in the screenshot exchange. So we shall see. We shall see though, because people have different views of harassment. You send 3 messages in a row, that could be viewed as harassment by some people. But like I said, it's been a long time since I looked at it. But I recall my feelings at the time being that he was very much so embellishing it. Deity was.
And of course, because people can't just be civil and people can't just get along with each other, another issue popped off in mod chat with one individual taking issue with this other female moderator. Then this other person, to my knowledge, went off into a private chat with several other of my moderators, and then here comes this whole team of moderators who have talked with each other behind the scenes, who've all decided they dislike this female moderator, and they come to me with the same things that they had done during the issue with the other mod I just spoke of. Saying things like, I'm not comfortable continuing on if she's here. We'll just say that. I'm not comfortable being in the same chat as this person. I'm not going to be a moderator if this person's a moderator. And when I had so many people doing that, it didn't matter. It didn't matter how many messages I sent back trying to be fair and trying to be impartial. It didn't matter. So,
are they talking about Trisha? I wasn't for sure because he's being very vague again. Is he going to accuse people of trying to get other people in the sex trade or something again? I still can't get over that. That's insane to accuse people of. Anyway, moving on.
I was trying to be fair. I was trying to consider everyone as an individual and not a group, and I was trying to speak on this other person's behalf, but nobody wanted to hear it. Nobody. One of the main issues they had with this person is that she was overly confident. She was boisterous. She did a lot of talking. She overtalked people. She was very confident in her identity and her sexuality as a woman. And that's not a bad thing. But she was mentioning it, and that got on a specific person's nerves. Well, once that started, it sparked this whole deal. And like I said, I tried to fight on her behalf, and I couldn't. It got to a point at which some subscribers sent me this really strange email. But not only did they send it to me, they sent it to 2 moderators, right? This is all confusing because I can't say names. And
yes, I agree. So why not say names? I mean, I'm willing to bet too many people are aware already. So it's not like it's some secret. It's not like at this point I think most of your subscribers are at the very least halfway aware. I feel like he's vague on purpose, just to confuse people, because I am horribly confused sometimes on who he's talking about.
This email was very disturbing. And it wasn't because of the content matter, really. I can't say that. It was because it was filled with the type of pertinent personal information that nobody should ever have about another human being. It was sent to 2 mods and myself, like I said. And then it was mentioned over and over and over in a live stream I was doing, and now all the other mods want to see this email. So they're clamoring for permission to see this email. The person who sent it was giving them this permission to have that email. So then they would go to mod chat and say, hey, so-and-so gave me permission to see that email. Can I see it? Is she okay? I want to know if she's okay. And it kept going and kept going and kept going. And nobody was responding. Then somebody snapped at another person and said, stop spamming. And it became this whole heated thing where people were just being unnecessarily rude. And come to find out, I had told these people who had access to this email not to send it to another person. I told them to delete it because this is not the type of email that you want to have access to.
I have no idea what he's talking about at all. So there's a whole other juicy side of the story I don't even know about, apparently. What the fuck is he talking about? What email thread? Tisk tisk tisk? I don't remember. Maybe it was mentioned to me and I just didn't pick up on it. But I have no idea what he's talking about right now. What was it like? It is pertinent details in these emails. That's I have no idea. Probably don't want to know either if it's pertinent things. So don't share it.
It sparked this huge debate. It sparked this huge argument, really, and eventually the moderator who I was trying to be impartial to, who I was trying to speak for and look out for, I ended up having to get rid of her because of her behavior that night. But in the messages that I sent her, I said specifically, I'm not doing this to you. I'm doing it for you so you can have a break, so you can gain perspective. And when you come back, you can say, I'm sorry. I, you know, I wanted her to be able to take accountability.
I'm still holding by my original statement, saying that I'm not doing this to you, I'm doing this for you, is really douchey. I don't know. I think that line in general would piss me off, but I don't know. I guess when you're a deity that knows better than everyone else, it's okay to do that.
For her actions, and I wholeheartedly wanted her to return. Why did I care so much about this moderator specifically? Because she had been around since the beginning of my channel, and I had formed a friendship with this person. I cared about this person. I don't know what it is about me, but I care about people that I have a connection with, whether it's online or elsewhere. But now I know that you shouldn't trust people like that, and it sucks. It sucks so badly. But like I said, we left off on good terms. I thought she was going to take a couple days break and come back. But no, they couldn't do that. They couldn't do that. So yeah, they were demoted as moderator. They were never hidden. They were never blocked. I was waiting for the few days. I was waiting for her to come back, just like I offered. And really, that was the only way that I saw that I could ease the situation and appease both sides, and do so in a fair manner. But no, she couldn't wait, I guess. She ended up teaming up with yet another person who I've hidden on this channel. This person was never a moderator. This person was a...
I'm this person again. I know you all said he mentions my name, but I'm still this person. This person. Alright. Well, as far as I'm aware, my video came out first, then they teamed up with me. So let's fix the timeline here. I'm trying to correct misinformation. He's not going to watch this video because... maybe he will. Maybe he's changed. Maybe he is truly a changed human being that does research now. We shall see. We're only 18 minutes in. So, fixing the timeline. First video comes out. Then people start reaching out to me. Continuing on.
Viewer. A longtime viewer who was in every single one of my live streams. And I actually enjoyed this person's comments in my live stream. I enjoyed it. He offered intellectual insight into whatever we were discussing. He was a little humorous. I enjoyed it. But keep in mind, this was during the time at which I was having trouble with Real Stream News. This was at the time at which I was having people come over from RSN's community into mine, doing this, doing that, saying this, saying that, keeping stuff stirred up, right? That's
what? I don't recall that. Now, I went back and looked through all of his streams during that time period, okay? Just seeing if there was a fake me running around. And if you were to do the same, you would see me in there one time when there was a thing going around at one point where people were saying that RSN accused Deity of raping people, I think it was like about raping kids. It was mentioned in his chat, and Deity went off about it. Now, I went to just go straight to the source and ask, and I asked something about that, and I think RSN read it out and acknowledged he had no idea what the fuck I was talking about, and people were making shit up. That's about it. So, anyway. Other than that, I don't think I've been in RSN chat. Oh, it may have been there a long, long time ago during when he was the only one covering the Vincent stuff. Maybe that. But that was the only time I mentioned Deity, was to figure out what the fuck he was going on about with accusing Deity of being a molester. So, yep. Now, Holly's, I was in there a couple of times, but I never really did anything too bad to Deity that I wouldn't say in his own chat. So, anyway.
It was happening all the time. So one of the moderators ended up
KCT.
a photo at some point before all of them were demodded, um, and it was a screenshot of this person over in Real Stream News or Holly Undead's or somebody's comment section, applauding a video that they had done on me. That
What? He doesn't even know what place I was at with a comment that got me in trouble that I've shown like 3 times now on my channel. I'm not showing it again. Okay. Apparently I was wrong. No research. He's still going on hearsay from a bunch of, I guess now ex-moderators, since he's demodded so many fucking people. I have no idea how this dude even functions. Like, he's like an ogre just kind of meandering about, smashing into things, unable to figure out which direction he's supposed to be going. That's a good way to describe it.
it was very vulgar to my understanding. I haven't watched it, but everyone who has seen it has said it was very vulgar. Now, I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't even gonna lie. The severity of his comment was played up. The severity of the idea that he was there to praise them for making this vulgar video about me. It was played up. It was gassed up to me. It was. I let these people make me think that it was such a horrible thing, right?
He acknowledges that, so shout out to Deity there. He at least acknowledges that his moderators are fucking insane. So hopefully he'll move along in the future with this in mind, but probably not. I have a feeling that someone else is going to be starting drama with him soon enough. I give it. I don't know. I'm not all the way through the video yet, but I'm gonna make an early prediction. It'll in about 2 weeks he'll be in some other drama that I'm not even involved in. We shall see.
I let these people make me think that I couldn't trust him as a viewer now because he's going to be going and playing both sides trying to stir shit up. It was stupid, it was foolish, but I was paranoid. I was legit paranoid about everyone at this point. So I ended up hiding him from the channel because either way, I really did suspect that it could eventually become problematic.
Again, I'm just gonna say this right now. Deity, you do not know paranoia at all. Okay, you don't keep your phone in the microwave so the Chinese government doesn't spy on you. So, if I wouldn't have reacted that way, I feel as though you don't have a whole lot of excuse. I think you mentioned it earlier in the video, to keep an eye on it and just see where it goes. So I hope, like I said, you apply that going forward. It's best just to be a silent observer.
With him, and I was right. So I had hidden him from the channel, and this was before I had demodded the female mod, and I was waiting for her to come back to mod chat. Confusing, I know. Well, somehow during the time of her being demodded, she linked up with this viewer who had been hidden from my channel, YouTube Schizophrenic, you guys know him. And she started providing him with screenshots from private moderator conversations,
So we're clear, Trisha was not my mole. Now, she did send me things, but I had a separate mole who had pretty much sent me every single thing that had ever been posted in the mod chat up to that point. Now, that person is gone now. The spy games are over, as I keep saying. Okay. But the fact of the matter remains, I had everything that people were fucking talking about in that thing already. So don't blame Trisha for that shit. He seems to not be able to get that part down. I've mentioned that a few times, so we shall see.
Moderator email threads, private moderator chats, providing him with screenshots, providing him with all kinds of information on us and stuff, and I didn't appreciate that. I didn't appreciate the thought process behind it.
I don't know what I mean by scary information, okay? Now, I didn't have like people's real names or anything. I wasn't looking for that. I specifically didn't want that. Okay? Only relevant things were mentioned. So I didn't care about the little chit chat in between.
And of course that became this huge issue, especially because she was talking about us on her Twitter and just petty stuff, really, 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 really stupid, really petty stuff.
But
where
profitable.
It became an increasingly Difficult problem to deal with is where this person, YouTube schizophrenic, overstepped personal boundaries and reached out to people into my personal life and began rallying these people up again.
Again, I don't quite get that. Who did I reach out to in his personal life? You mean the hillbilly hellride guy that made the video? He was a YouTuber. Whether or not he knew you personally was frankly irrelevant. I mean, are you not allowed to talk to other YouTubers? Either way. Oh, and the email to the Dollar General, which literally was a joke, basically, because they were never going to get back to me. Okay, so I don't know if someone rallied up people in your personal life. It wasn't me.
So maybe I should be a little more specific because this time frame, y'all, I'm not good at this. Before I had even ever
Now, Michelle D was actually the mole. That would be the excellent long con, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it?
had a YouTube channel, I was an employee for a specific company and I worked there for 10 years and I was in management. Um, right around the time that I created my YouTube channel, I was transferred from my home store location to a new store. I was transferred there because the store only had two employees, an assistant manager and a cashier. They needed other managers there. I was sent there and there was already an assistant manager, so my perspective is that this person felt as if I was trespassing, as if I was stepping on her toes or whatever, and she took to disliking me. She also did a lot of things to me, lied about me, said things to the district manager that weren't true, talked about me incessantly with customers and employees, said a lot of things that were homophobic. So I knew exactly where her dislike from me was stemming from, honestly. And not too long after that, her family got involved. Her family did get involved. Basically, life for me at that store every single day was hell. Hell. I was calling human resources. I was calling every corporate personnel I could think of on a daily basis, asking for some type of relief. And they wouldn't do anything. I still have text messages that I had received from the district manager from where I was texting her about what was going on as it was going on, and she told me not to call the police. And to top it off, there are no federal or state laws in this area protecting gay people from discrimination in the workplace, so there was nothing.
I would like to clarify. I have no reason to uh, disagree with him here or say anything about this. Okay, it's not my place. Apparently, that guy who made the Hillbilly Hellride video, as far as this whole thing was concerned with his discrimination, had a misunderstanding with him. So, that part, everything, is resolved. I'm sure that there is some discrimination in the South of the United States. So, yeah, I got nothing more to say as far as that goes. As far as anything with Dollar General goes, there's far more juicier content out there anyway.
I could do nothing. Inevitably, this situation came to a head, and I don't think I need to give you all the details, but it was very, very disgusting. And I had to quit my job of 10 years. I had to. I had no choice. It had become unsafe, and I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't deal with being treated like that every single day, trying to earn a living to pay my bills and support my family as a gay person in Alabama. That's why I'm being treated like this. So, yeah, I ended up quitting. And yes, I did bring it up on my channel first because at the time my channel was so small, so small. And what I was doing was venting to the people.
Not that small. Not that small. I mean, it was bad enough that people did call your store, you doxed your manager. I mean, that wasn't just a couple, like 10 people. That was like you were at like 3,000 subscribers or something at that point. I mean, you had a lot of people in your live streams compared to your subscriber count. It was one of the reasons probably why I was watching, so it was just to see what the hell it was. I was impressive. It still is impressive, by the way. I'm not going to take that from you. But anyway, so don't try to play it off that you were like some tiny person. I mean, you had an audience while you did this.
That I knew was watching because it was a very upsetting time for me. And I kind of saw this YouTube channel as it's gonna sound so fucking stupid, but I saw it almost like like a group of friends, really, at that point, because it was so small. So yeah, I spoke about it openly, quite openly, in detail, and I shouldn't have. And that's a lesson that I've learned. But where it became an issue is this YouTube schizophrenic was upset at me for hiding him or for acknowledging that I saw him in the comment sections of Real Stream News or Holly Undead or whichever one it was, which to me, they're kind of the same people. They're not too far apart. But I don't know, he was so upset with me. And I guess he wanted to be the one with the scoop and the dirt or whatever. And somehow, because I'll admit, I don't understand his way of thinking. He had gotten in his mind that I was never discriminated against and that I didn't quit, that somehow I was terminated, which is false. I don't
Again,
care who you call.
I never I never got that idea in my head. I saw a video where someone else had it in their head. So I didn't just come up with it out of thin air. I mean, that video exists. There's footage of it still apparently floating around. So, and he specifically asked people to share it around as well at the end of the video, which you know, is probably why it's still around. So whatever misunderstanding you all had, it appears to have been blown way out of proportion, not by me, but by him. So I'm merely a commentator about it.
And ask, it's false. I quit my job. I wish I hadn't, but I did. But he got it in his head that that was false, that I was lying about that for some reason, and so he took it upon himself to contact these people in my personal life and start asking questions about when I worked there. But what did that do? Because I don't know the full extent of the conversation he had with these people. I don't know what he said to them. I don't know any of that. All that did was serve to stir everything up for me. Everything. And then
Now he's claiming he doesn't know what kind of contact I had with these people. I said what contact I had with these people. So again, he doesn't watch the video, so his moderators probably told him, "Oh my God, he's calling up all these people. He has all this information." So I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's just making things up. He's just once again misinformed.
come to find out, he had contacted the wrong people. He contacted someone that was simply the boyfriend of a cashier. A cashier did not play a role in me quitting my job.
I contacted people who made the YouTube video.
I considered to be a friend. The cashier was someone
the right person, actually.
Do you
but
know
it
how
never got back
difficult
to me.
It is
So
to find another person in this area that has an interest in alternative religious ways or whatever. I enjoyed speaking to that cashier. I had a friendship with that cashier. But apparently he reached out to this person's boyfriend and insinuated that I was talking about them poorly online or whatever, and they believed it.
Okay. I never insinuated he was talking about him poorly online. Okay, I left like a comment on one of his videos asking for some details, and that's about it. I don't know where he thinks. I never spoke to the man. Never. I don't know what he's talking about. Now, if someone saw my videos and then got mad about it, well, that's not on me. So, I mean, if someone, I have my face out there too, Deity. If someone in my real life sees my videos and gets mad about it, that's also my problem. Just as it is for you. Now, if you don't like it, I would not have shown my face in the first place. A lot of people have those little avatars and things for a reason. So, moving on.
And then, of course, because they still work at that store, they connect with the assistant manager who hated me. They connect with their family, and they get all these people riled up again to the point at which it's scary to be here now. It's scary to be here in my home, in this town that I live in. It's scary to even go to either of these stores that I worked at for so long to buy anything. And what this person, YouTube Schizophrenic, did not consider is that I have a family that lives here who plays no role in what I do on my channel. And he put them in danger as well. They have to fear going into a store to buy a fucking soda. That's not right. It's not right. It's also not okay that he thought it was okay for him to drag up something that was really hurtful for me to go through and use it for YouTube, like I said in that stream, fodder. It was not okay for me. It was not. It was so hurtful. So hurtful. I went through hell there, y'all. Hell.
Oh my god, it muted me again. Are you serious? I had a good rant there too. Okay, let me gather my thoughts and try to repeat. Okay. If you don't, I imagine it was hurtful. I don't blame him for that. Of course it was hurtful. Now, the issue is it doesn't matter when you pull the stunt you pulled and show all of these things publicly. Now, I've had some bad bosses in my time, but I would never imagine doing the stunt he pulled, where he shows everything out there in public, doxing his manager. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. I don't know how you can rationalize that at all. So, yes, it came back to haunt you, and it probably should have, because that's, like I said, that's insane. Why would you do that? What was going through your mind as you did that?
I don't know if any of you know what it's like to be discriminated against for being gay or whatever, but it sucks. Also, what brought my attention to this and the fact that this was being brought up again is that another gay man posted about it on his Twitter, and he mischaracterized and misrepresented it like hardcore. He said that I was just doing a stream on my channel in which I was yelling at a mentally handicapped person.
Oh my god, I know exactly what he's talking about too. There's some dude named Alex is Shook who said, "Here's Deity yelling at a mentally handicapped guy on his stream." Oh my god, that fucking killed me. Mentally handicapped. I know exactly what he's talking about. That was fucking hilarious. Yeah, and it was said for sensational value more so than to mischaracterize, in my opinion. It's a bigger headline. It's a title. It's clickbait almost in a way. But yeah, I saw that was fucking hilarious. Mentally handicapped.
That's not true. I reached out to a mental health professional and inquired about schizophrenia and whether or not it has an impact on your intelligence, your.
Hogan's asking, did you feel abused in that stream? No. I went into that stream having a pretty good feeling that's exactly what was going to happen. I wasn't expecting him to mute me. I was expecting a screaming match, but I didn't expect him to actually sit there and mute me over and over and over again. But no, I kind of figured it was not going to be a fun environment, and it was going to be a shouting match. Now, I was surprised that he went on RSN stream and had a calm conversation. I mean, he took it even further than I did, just to fuck with him. But either way, I will just assume that he needed a good chance to scream. You know, it was probably cathartic for him, to be honest. I think he needed to let it out. So I just wish he'd let me talk. You know, let's be fair about it, is all.
IQ, your ability to understand social cues, all of that. And it doesn't, unless it's comorbid with something. This person knew what he was doing. He was intelligent enough to find these people, to find their contact information, and to make a plan with them. He understood social cues enough to have a conversation with them, to have a conversation with the former mod, to create a video that people enjoyed watching that was crapping on me and putting me in danger. He understood all of that. He is not handicapped, and your misrepresentation of that is so dishonest. It's disingenuous. And all it is the sensationalizing of a topic for the sake of content. And what's worse is you're gay. Do you not understand why I was yelling? Do you not understand? Have you never been discriminated against? Have you never experienced homophobia?
Is this the part where people were insinuating that he was calling me gay? I don't think he's calling me gay. Is this Alex Shook guy? Is he gay? Is that the misunderstanding? I heard at one point he was saying that I was gay. I was like, what? Where are you getting that idea from? Is that more of his moderator's bullshit? This gay man is attacking you. So is this Alex Shook person? Is that a gay man? Is that the misunderstanding that people were having? Oh, I see people in the chat. Oh, what are people trying to get on the right page of here? Oh, I know about the whole medication thing about all that. I don't even care anymore. I've kind of hinted at this. I've kind of tiptoed around this before, but I don't even think schizophrenia is real. I think it's something the government labels people, so that way when they say they're being stalked by the government and controlled with mind control towers, it discredits them. They get rendered in fucking socially fucking inept people, basically mentally handicapped, like Alex Ashok said. So I don't really care about any of that. So a lot more. I think people are taking like offense to that on my behalf more so than I did, because I don't really care. That he doesn't even quite understand my thought process and my opinions anyway. I think he took like a characterization of me, or a caricature of me, and then ran with it.
It is one of the most dangerous, scary things to go through. Just for existing. I don't understand where you would think that I didn't have a right to be as angry and as hurt as I was. I don't understand that. But quite honestly, I don't think you care. I think this is another instance of someone making a mountain out of something that they actually consider to be a non issue because they don't give a for the sake of content, like I said. But we'll get back to that. So, inevitably, what occurred is I was venting my frustrations and my fears and my stress and everything in a stream one evening. During that stream, I had two people up on cam with me. I had Jessa B and Heavy Down, both of whom are my moderators now, and we were discussing all of this. It was pertinent for Heavy Down to be there because she is the one who alerted me to what he was doing, because he sent her a message in which he said and admitted to.
Let's talk about that. The actual exchange between us was her saying that she wasn't comfortable with me mentioning her after. Now, let me this. Me and Heavy Down were not friends by any stretch of the imagination. I asked her for permission to use her stream or mention her in her situation because she got demodded publicly, very publicly, and basically got humiliated and then went on to rage about it in a stream, talk about how pissed she was. But after that, I contacted her to use like her story to back up what I was saying about his moderators. Just my ability to gather evidence to fucking support my story. It was just one of the fucking pieces. And then she went on to message me to say she wasn't comfortable with me mentioning it because she still liked the Deity. Apparently, she loves him. And so we got into a long conversation where I was trying to explain what I was doing. Basically, regurgitated everything I had already said in my videos to her, so she didn't have to watch them. And then I guess she took screenshots of all that shit, gassed. I don't like to use this term, but gassed him up to believe it was this big thing. And yeah, I guess she threw in the whole where I said that I don't take medications and shit like that in there too, just for extra brownie points with him. So I don't really care. If you want to know, I only have one person hidden on my channel, and it's Heavy Down. Because now I was gonna leave her unhidden just to fuck with her, because she's a fucking globalist who makes fucking bones out of people. She has a scepter made of human bone, and she showed it on a goddamn stream. Okay, no, fucking globalist. As I was saying, I was gonna leave her here just to see what she did and to fuck with her. And then she started trying to start shit with other people in my comment section, and I was like, no, I'm not involved in this shit. You can't just pull what you did, then try to come in here at my channel and start to do the same thing. So she needs to do some growing up, in my opinion, because I don't even start shit in other people's comment sections. So, moving on.
Being in contact with these people. During this conversation, he reached out to her again on Discord, discussing me. I had said that I would be open and willing to having a conversation. And I was. And I wanted a conversation, a genuine, actual conversation, because I wanted to understand it. But something happened, and it wasn't something that I'm proud of or that I consider to be a victory. It was ugly, it was horrible, and I should never have responded in that way. But I want you people to know, the people who are here out of a genuine like for me or my channel or whatever, I wanted you to know and understand that I didn't just do that for the sake of doing it. It happened unintentionally because I couldn't stop it. I couldn't stop myself. It was just painful because it took place at a time at which I was finally comfortable, I was finally happy, I was loving YouTube. I had put all the stuff that happened at that store behind me, and then it was drug up again.
You're not happy with YouTube. You were still complaining and whining about the whole Vincent thing. Okay, I don't know what kind of, you know, what do they call it? Rose tinted glasses you're looking back with, but yeah, that's not how things were. I mean, we could prove this if it, you don't hide your goddamn live streams. That shit's really pissing me off too. And then if you want to go back through them, he doesn't even have them as proper names. They're all just like, hey, hi, I'm live. Let's talk. You can't even get a proper list of topics. I mean, trying to actually review the Lolcow is just ridiculously difficult.
Drug up. And not only was it drug up, like mentioned, but those people were contacted. The same people who were threatening me while I was working there were once again threatening me. Threatening my life, threatening my safety, threatening the safety of my family. I had every right to be angry. This wasn't something silly like doing a live stream in which you're high out of your mind because you've slipped in your sobriety. That wasn't that.
Whoa. How does he know I was high as a kite? Or am high as a kite? I didn't tell him that. I didn't tell anybody that. How the fuck does he have that information? Is he talking about someone else? I hope he's talking about someone else. I just outed myself, but oh well. Yeah, who the fuck? What the fuck? That's a random thing to say.
This was something dangerous. This was something scary for me. This was something painful. But you know that. You just don't care. And yeah, I did have the stream because I was embarrassed about how it went. But I wasn't trying to pretend it didn't happen.
Talking about himself? Okay, so he went on a stream high as a kite because he slipped on his sobriety? Interesting. Okay. I've heard Roger Brown before speculate that he is possibly still having issues with that. So that's interesting if that's what happened. I didn't even know that. See, there's so much information here. But I don't care if he does that. Good for him if he's having fun and doing all that shit. I don't care. Or bad for him if he doesn't want to be doing that shit. I mean, I don't care either way.
In fact, for the longest time, I was wanting to have an open conversation about it and acknowledge it because I knew that is absolutely not who I am and not who I want to be on YouTube. That's not how I want to present myself on YouTube. But it happened. And I wanted you all to understand that it happened because I was hurt. Because I was scared. And maybe this is not me making an excuse. This is literally coming about out of a long time of thinking about why.
CT, I do not personally have any of his old lives except for like a few relevant ones that were sent to me and things, but I think anyone can get access to them on his Patreon. You just got to pay him money. Assuming he doesn't just delete the ones that make him look really, really bad, which I don't know. I haven't actually been on his Patreon. I don't know anyone on his Patreon. So, someone needs to pay this guy some money and start leaking his shit. I'm sure somebody actually is, just not to me. I have heard other content creators are going to make videos on him, so I imagine they'll start drudging stuff up. That's generally how it goes. That's probably one of the things they're working on, if they really are working on doing any videos on him, is that they have a long backlog to get through.
Why I react the way that I do and why I am so angry. And I do think that the abuse that I suffered when I was younger had something to do with that. I don't know if what I feel is a fear of being powerless, a fear. I, I don't know, but that's what it feels like. Powerless to change people's perspective of me, powerless to undo the lies being told, powerless. I don't know. Don't quote me. I haven't figured it out. I just know that a role in this is played by that. You know, I know that. But here comes DC Media Girl ready to smear me again and ready to question the validity of the abuse I went through. This is the type of thing I deal with on here. This. While other people who are absolutely lying about their victim.
Still going on because if you notice, he's not swearing. I bet he'll I've heard anyway that he'll censor the swearing later on. Okay, is because I heard he forgot to put ads on his video. That's a whole other joke right there in itself. But I think he's doing it for money. I think that that's the intention of it, is that it's drama circulating around. He wants to get views and subscribers. The same reason I'm doing it, basically. But although he can actually make money, so he's probably doing it for that reason, and keeping it going. It's a hot topic, I guess, in terms of this little sphere of YouTube. Yeah. So that's my assumption of why he's still going.
Are applauded as heroes. I don't know. I'm just genuinely ashamed of how that went.
I don't know anything about the DC Media Girl thing a whole lot. I don't know. I know that Stevie Wolf apparently flipped out on her too, so it was a big hoopla. I didn't even watch any of that stuff. I was doing other stuff when all that drama went down. I only got like the glimpses of those streams, I think, where he was going, this person did this person did this. So I was like, who's this person? And I think he may have been talking about DC Media Girl at that time. I don't know. It's so hard to know what he's talking about. He's had that problem since he started. So I think that might be who he's talking about.
I am. It could have been handled so much differently and so much better. Because, like I said, I genuinely wanted to have a conversation, but then as soon as I saw his face, I couldn't help it.
Hogan, this is going to be that too. He apparently watches the stream in this, so I will be able to have a response to that like thing while it's happening. So it's basically like reactception. I'm going to react to him reacting to me.
I don't know if it was because I was holding back so much anger and so much hurt from not only what he was doing, not only what these former mods were doing, but from what they had done to me at that store. And wrongly, I chose to take it out on him, and he was not solely responsible. So what I want to do now is I'm going.
I wasn't solely responsible. So wait, so there was other people, right? Is that the implication here? Is that there was other people fucking with you as far as that goes? Okay. Again, he's being very vague, in my opinion. So layers to this. Yeah, levels. So many levels. Uh-oh. Did it again.
I'm going to include some of that live stream in here because what I want to do is I want to be transparent. I want you to see it. I want you to understand that I'm embarrassed, but I'm not going to lie and hide it. So here we go. So the entirety of this stream was me talking about the distress, the stress, the paranoia, the hurt, everything.
Whoa, this is hard to watch.
And it wasn't until around this time frame that we, I guess, really got into it. And then he decided to contact Heavy Down.
I feel like I have too big of a heart because I feel bad, like, for the situation.
I did. I had sympathy for him and what he's going through because, like I said, not too long ago, I went off my medication and I went off the f***ing deep end. So I know right. But when you take it upon yourself to release private personal information, which, like I said, nothing to hide, but you invaded my privacy. When you drag up something that was so hurtful for me, I can't forgive that. I can't. Right. So what I'm talking about is in the messages he sent Heavy Down about contacting these people, he also admitted to her point blank that he was not taking his medication. I think that's what she said to me. I can't recall.
She asked.
and was basically saying
I
that his
don't
mental illness
take
was playing a
medication at all.
role
Never
in
have.
it.
Never will.
But at the same time, as someone who struggles with my own mental illnesses, I wasn't ready to just give him a pass for putting me and my family at risk and just say, oh, well, he doesn't know what he's doing. Because you're an adult. You're an adult just like I am. If I am to be held accountable for my behavior, when I yell at somebody, when I insult somebody, why are you not to be held accountable for putting an entire family of people at risk because you were hidden? Right? That was my way of thinking.
Again, I just don't get his whole, you put a whole family at risk. I never put anybody at risk. Everything I did was just asking questions, basically. And that little email to Dollar General, which was mainly just to be a dick. Like, do you think the Dollar General is hunting you down? I mean, is Dollar General a globalist-run organization? Are they stalking Deity as we speak? I didn't realize they were so mafioso.
My perspective. I was never ever coming at him because of his mental illness. I was coming at him because he was literally endangering me and my loved ones. But I just wish I hadn't done it the way that I did. Because it's awful, you know? I'm someone who legitimately cares about the conversation around mental health and the stigma that comes along with that. And I use some very, very unfortunate, very rude language when talking to this person. But at the same time, it was
I blew a goddamn gasket. I mean, if you showed that kind of passion in your everyday videos, you would be like, whew. Honestly, I think that will go down as one of your most entertaining moments on your legacy of YouTube. I think that will age very well. But you're right. Yes, the optics of it were horrible. Horrible, especially for the kind of safe space kind of audience you're trying to build. I bet that scared a lot of them away. So, you got to be careful. You got to be careful the kind of audience you build and what you condition them for. Otherwise, when you pull something like this, they're gonna be taken so far back.
so hard for me to have sympathy for him because I'm human. I get angry. I get really hurt when people do things like this. And it's hard to have sympathy for the person who is hurting you. And in that point in time, he was hurting me.
Well, I'm not saying I would forgive him like that. I feel like that's just crossing a line you don't cross. It's like I said, it's the freaking internet. Like, if you don't like someone, go do something else.
Well, what I just let's see. I said that you have a choice, and he goes, invite me on Twitter if he wants to talk. We're both being lied to by Deity is not a globalist. I apologized. I'm done with him. I said,
yeah, I don't know where Deity got this idea. I called him a globalist. I've never once referred to him as a globalist. Okay, where this idea came from, I guess someone ran that off to him. So we shall see. Maybe he'll acknowledge the fact that I never called him a globalist. If he can acknowledge that fact, we would be able to make a few steps towards what actually happened in the truth here.
So I think in editing, I'm going to block out the name that was just read, but basically he was acknowledging the fact that a former moderator who was upset with me for taking the side of the many instead of the one, her, had come to him and had gassed him up and had gotten him to do this. He was acknowledging.
Irish, you might be right about there being more to the story, but to be honest, the only thing I considered, I wouldn't have even looked into it if not for the dude's video and everything else like that. And if they had some misunderstanding, what he's saying is inaccurate, there is no ethical route to go about looking into that as far as I'm concerned. So I'm done looking into the Dollar General thing. Like I said, I already apologized to him because I was perhaps wrong about my thing. I definitely was wrong about the first part of it, where I was thinking the guy and him had a problem. So whether or not there was more to the story, I don't think so. I mean, there might be, but I'm not looking into it anymore. He seems to like really get upset about that, and to be honest, I don't have any sources. Like I said, if the only person who I had anything on was the dude who made the video, and he's apparently, like I said, had a misunderstanding. Although we did do a review of it on Holly's stream, which got copyright struck. I will say this: One of the big things in that video he was going off about was he was saying that Deity talked down to people with EBT, which is, I guess, like American food stamps or something. So apparently he was very upset about that Deity was talking down about people with EBT, and he seemed to be more upset about that than the whole gay thing. So I don't know if that was also a misunderstanding, but he was very upset about the whole EBT thing. That he was talking down about people with EBT. He was like, here's this tea I bought from with my EBT and stuff like that. He was really upset about that aspect of it.
Acknowledging that.
DNP, I am taken. Sorry.
Get your cam ready. I'm going to send you the link in a few seconds. Either come on or fuck off. And he said, I had no desire to make him stressed out. I admit I made a mistake.
Okay, so for some reason, the moment that I saw him pop up into StreamYard's waiting room and I saw his face, I snapped. It went from, let's have a conversation, and it went to, you have to make this individual understand how he wronged you, how he wronged your family. Honestly, it felt as if I had no options. I had no choices. I felt backed into a corner. I was scared. I was backed into a corner. I was afraid of what was going to happen because of some stupid YouTube drama shit. And I was legitimately upset, and I was afraid. And at that point, I had definitely had enough. I had had enough. And it became more about, I don't know, making him understand what he did, and I didn't feel like he did. But from the jump, I muted him, and I started yelling. And that's not how I felt for the majority of the stream leading up to it. I haven't watched it back, like the whole stream, so I don't know. But that's just literally not what I had planned.
Yeah, I want his ass in here. Because I want to put on my 18 and
something I do want to say really quickly is
Abby Down was very aggressive. I mean, she was definitely egging it on. She wanted a shit show, in my opinion. I mean, that's something I noticed, definitely looking back on it, because I wasn't in the stream, so I didn't see this part. I didn't see the part until I came in. So when she's flipping out like that, you know, egging everybody on, what the hell does she think is gonna happen? You know, she leads a moment of mindfulness at the VA in between bouts of fucking having a fit, apparently.
I am capable of having a conversation about a misunderstanding, about internet drama. I can have that conversation. I had a perfectly respectable, fine conversation with RSN. Where this became different for me, and where this was no longer just internet drama, is when this person was legitimately in contact with people where I live. Angering them, riling them up again in their hatred for me. That's where it became personal, and that's when I reacted the way that I reacted.
Bye, CT.
And no, I have not forgotten. Real Stream News played a role in this as well. We're getting to that.
Tap on and let him have it. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. I apologize. I'm being disgusting, but I'm mad. God, you're really going to have to private this.
Before I let you speak, because I have you muted, I want you to understand that YouTube shit is no reason to bring up anything in my goddamn personal life. What you are is a mother coward. What you are is someone who
He looks so uncomfortable watching this back. I mean, that's you can see it on his face. I mean, I know some people might say he's acting. I don't think he is. I think he's legitimately horrified. And you can just look at Jesseby there. Jesseby's face. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about Jesseby. She seems reasonable. But oh my god, her face. She is mortified. Absolutely mortified. Oh.
Steph's personal boundaries because of some petty shit. I hid you because you were causing problems for me. And what the f do you proceed to do? You make more problems for me. And I'm angry.
That was actually the joke. I wasn't causing any problems for you. So, and you said I was causing all these problems for you. So I wanted to make your will a reality. It is what it is.
angry. You do not have a right to invade my personal privacy, motherfucker. I don't know you from another goddamn person out on the street. You have no right to.
Again, he's like, he doesn't realize that this whole thing was brought up by another person on YouTube in the first place. He's acting like I reached out, I got these people, I called them up. That never happened. I never spoke to a single person on the phone. In fact, the person who made the video never even responded to my comment. So I have no idea what exactly he is so mad about it to begin with.
To invade my goddamn life, motherfucker. And I'm telling you that now. You are so good. I honestly, I don't like watching it back. I don't like seeing me like that. I don't like knowing that this was in front of an audience of almost 200 people. I don't like looking at Jess's face and seeing how bothered she is.
Really? Yeah, she is absolutely, completely, like, oh, she's mortified, like I said. So, yeah, I think she's one of those people that probably came there expecting it to be a comforting place or whatever, and then this happened. So, he's definitely, if you're gonna try and build like a community with that kind of a mindset, you definitely gotta keep your cool. You condition people for one thing and then pull a 180 like that, they're gonna react badly to you.
I don't like any of it. I'm not proud of this. I'm not proud of that. But just seeing the face of the person who caused my mother and my sister to be afraid, I couldn't react calmly. I couldn't. I don't know. I just wanted to really make sure you guys know that I am sorry for the way that I handled this.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of the stuff JB's saying she's like lying about me now, but I don't care. She's not a YouTuber. She's just she's Deity sword and shield. She needs to protect her brother, you know. There was a joke in some movie or whatever. Oh god, I'm gonna get in trouble for this one. There was a joke in some movie or whatever where there was like a gay character or whatever who had this sister who would always stand up for him, and there was a joke in the movie where she said, "Yeah, I'm the reason he's gay." And I think that might be going on here ever so slightly. I think whenever there was like an incident where someone was picking on poor Deity, oh my god, you had JB there to defend him. I'm gonna get in trouble for that one, but that's what comes to mind every time I think of them now.
This because it should have been handled differently. I'm sorry that you all who were there had to witness me be that angry, because that is not who I want to be. That's not how I want to carry myself here on YouTube at all. And it's very unfortunate that I've allowed myself to essentially change. Because I don't feel like the same person I was when I started. I'm not, well, I've never been happy, let's be real, but I'm not as happy as I was. I am suspicious, I'm paranoid about everyone and everything. Because it seems like everyone that I develop a friendship with here is only doing it to get bits and pieces that they can use in their own videos. You know what I mean?
Hold on now. Didn't you just have like a big disclaimer at one point that said we weren't friends? Which, by the way, we weren't. We were more like acquaintances, you know? Enjoyed each other's presence. But, yeah, now we're friends again. I don't know. This guy. I guess it depends on whatever gets the most amount of sympathy. It's what it sounds like now. And now I'm starting to believe that. But it completely shifted.
So after a while of people making up this and making up that, it just becomes too much and you get tired of it. You get to this place at which you're very, very tired and you realize you have no options. And that feeling of being powerless angers you. It angers you intensely. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry you all had to see it. And I'm sorry you're seeing it now. I really legit wish I had handled it differently. But I felt like I had to make him understand that he was wrong. I had to.
Before I even went on this stream, I had already made the Dollar General retraction because someone had brought me a clip or whatever from something, I guess, in Deity's previous live stream of them saying that they had had a misunderstanding and made up. It was like a quick 5-second clip just to confirm that that part of the story was actually already resolved. And since the video had been taken down by the guy originally in the first place, I just put two and two together and assume that that was the case. So I don't know exactly why he's saying he need to make me sure. I had already apologized at that point. I think they even acknowledged in the stream that, oh, he apologized for being wrong. I didn't apologize for doing it in the first place. Yeah, and that's all you're gonna get. I will apologize for being wrong. I was commentating on something other YouTubers had made. Again, yes, I agree with you, Iris, that he was taking his anger on that guy's video out on me for some fucking reason, just because I commentated on it.
For the sake of me, for the sake of my family, my loved ones, my mom, my sister, my dad, everyone. Because this was a very real situation for me. This wasn't just Twitter. This wasn't just YouTube. This was my life. But
I don't think he apologized to me specifically. I don't suspect him to. I think he's more apologizing to his audience, which is fine. I don't want an apology. I don't deserve an apology. Okay. Okay. When you have an issue with somebody and you want to do that, having a shouting match is one of those things that could happen. I don't expect an apology. I don't need an apology. I only apologize to him for being wrong. That's it. And I would apologize to anyone for being wrong. But having a nice shouting match, I would like an apology actually for being muted over and over again. That upset me. I'll admit, I'm a little butthurt about that. But other than that, I don't care.
I shouldn't have done it like this.
Goddamn lucky that I pity you for your mental health issues because I thought about calling the f***ing law on you. You need...
That's another thing. What law did I break? None of those things I mentioned are breaking the law. And even if, let's just pretend for a second, let's go along with a little thought experiment. Let's say I called up all these people. I was asking for information on Deity. Gossiping is not a crime. As far as I'm aware, like I said, Deity may live in some totalitarian dictatorship of Alabama, where, free speech is dead and people can't communicate freely. But where I live, that's not illegal. You can communicate with people. I can call them up and talk to you about them. That's not a crime. Nothing is a crime. What is he talking about? So, let's go ahead and continue.
Help! You need to be put the f*** away! You don't get to invade my privacy like this!
I don't agree that it needs to be.
I never, ever should have mentioned his mental health in that way. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have brought it up. But all that kept playing in my head is that Heavy Down had told me not to throw Heavy Down under the bus, but that's just what was playing in my head, is the idea that this person had glad.
Okay, so Heavy Down was fucking screwing with his head. Okay. Alright, now it all makes sense. See, this is why I think that nothing's gonna change, because it looks like he's traded one freaking, what's the term? He's traded one problem for another, that's what I'll say. And if he's just going to trade one problem for another, then he's going to end up in the same situation, making a response video about somebody else making a response video on him.
Gladly told her that he was off his medication while he was doing this, because the only thing that I could think of and the only conclusion that I could come to is that while he knew full well what he was doing and the ramifications of it, he didn't care.
Oh, I think he is disappointed with his behavior, but I don't think he cares about me or wants to apologize to me, and I don't, like I said, I don't want him to. I think that we'll eventually move on, and I'll probably continue to commentate on him starting drama with other people. I think our drama's concluded. I'm not even going to interact with him. I actually have rules in my thing not to interact with lolcows, which, is rules standard on the internet, actually. It's not just for here. We generally don't want to screw with it. We'd like to just watch them and let them do whatever it is they do.
He didn't care. Because as someone who takes medication for my mental health, and as someone who knows full well who I am and what I do and what I become when I'm not on that medication, I have that responsibility to myself and the people around me to continue with that medication. So in my mind, he knew what he was doing. Obviously, he knew what he was doing. But I don't know how to reason it away, and it can't be reasoned away. I mentioned it.
Definitely knew what I was doing. However, I don't think you knew what I was doing. So that's where our problem mainly is. I think that if he actually had the truth, he'd be a lot less angry at me. So maybe one day he'll get it, but I don't suspect he will. I think he'll continue to believe this is the truth. because he won't actually branch out a little bit and, you know, put on his big boy pants, swallow his pride, and watch a video critical of him.
I'm someone who loves to have this conversation about mental health and mental illness, and here I am further stigmatizing someone else's mental health and mental illness. The only thing that I can say that makes sense to me is that I wanted to hurt him in the way that he had hurt me, but I couldn't put him in danger like he had done me. So I went low. And that's never respectful. It's never respectable. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And I do agree that he needs at least therapy.
You don't get to decide, I'm just not going to take my medicine and then act a fool. You don't get a pass because of that, and I'm not going to give you a pass. I'm done with it. I wanted to say what I had to say to you, but I want you to know that you are garbage. I have no sympathy for you. You don't get to bring up something that was traumatic and that was a horrible goddamn experience for me and use it as goddamn YouTube fodder for goddamn YouTube clicks, motherfucker. You don't get to do that. And I'm fucking done. I couldn't let the motherfucker speak. You don't get to come invade my goddamn life. You don't get to do that.
Okay, well,
I keep looking.
Yeah,
keep looking at
Jessica's
Jess's face.
Yep.
and
Oh
just
yeah,
knowing that
she's
was
the
so
face of the
uncomfortable
audience
and so
right there.
upset.
That's what the audience was looking like at when all this was
And then it
going
makes me
on.
wonder how
It
upset.
really
and
is
how
like a movie
uncomfortable the
setup
audience
if you think
was.
about it.
And they were coming knowing that it's usually a comfortable atmosphere here. And it makes me think of how many people in my audience are struggling with mental illness and mental health, just like I am. And how many I may have upset and offended because of the language that I used. But I couldn't think of that at the time. All I could think about was hurting someone who had hurt me in an intense way.
Yep, that sounds about right actually.
And I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have lost sight of what was important to me. But once again, I was afraid. And even now, I'm sitting here going around and around in circles with myself, trying to reason this and reason that. And I keep coming back to, it doesn't matter. I shouldn't have done it. I should have had a conversation. I should have been open to hearing this person out. Shouldn't have acted the way that I did.
well, he's like run like a bitch.
I removed him.
Hostility.
I
She
muted him.
eggs
'Cause I don't-
people on. She's like the
okay,
little
I'm
monkey in the middle,
blocking
the
him.
little
Do you want me to
peanut
block
gallery
him, or do you want
instigator.
me to let him spew and read it to you?
I don't give a what he does. I'm done with him. I didn't even want to hear it. There is no way you can rationalize overstepping a boundary and bringing up a traumatic experience for YouTube clicks. There's no goddamn way you can rationalize or reason that, and I'm not going to let it. That fucking YouTube schizophrenic that overstepped personal boundaries, I finally got him on, and I was going to have a conversation with him, but when I saw his smug face, I couldn't help it. I blew the fuck up. You don't get to invade my goddamn private life, motherfucker. You get to do it.
Okay, Deity, would you be willing to do a couple of minutes of mindfulness and see if we can bring the level down, because I'm extremely worried about you, and I'm also extremely worried about the optics of this. I don't
She's
want
worried
anything
about the
bad to
optics.
happen as a result. You know, I'm afraid for you. I really am. I'm even a little bit afraid for YouTube Schizophrenic, because this is going to send him off the rails. Guarantee you that. That's the nature of the beast.
I will be here. I will be listening, but I am going to take a break.
Might be a good idea.
I am just really thankful that both Jess and Heavy Down suffered through that with me.
I like
Especially
his
Heavy
twang
Down,
as well.
because
I think that during his whole rant of his, he comes. I mean, even though he couldn't let me speak, okay, just in a vacuum, okay, I think he comes off as like this fiery, passionate individual. You know, if I was making like a campaign type speech for him, I'd want to have something like that with that kind of a raw emotion. I mean, he showed some teeth. I mean, he wasn't the meek person that he plays off to be. So
she was able to offer humor. She was able to calm things down. And I appreciate those qualities in her. I definitely
rallying the
like
whole thing
Heavy
up
Down.
in the first place.
I'm just glad she was there.
You know, I'll keep things going. I'm sure Jess will keep things going.
I'm gonna try, but I don't know what I can say.
Oh yeah. He talks about other people on his channels like exclusively. Like he doesn't do other shit like I do. I do other things like games and stuff. He exclusively does that, and I'm like one of the first people, I guess, to make videos on him. I don't think I was the first, but I was one of the first people to make videos on him, and he lost his fucking mind about it. God help him when someone else picks up on him, assuming he doesn't just quit YouTube.
I have a lot of things to say.
I know, I'm sure you do.
Every time I'm looking to my left is because I'm very closely watching chat.
I'm doing my nails because my anxiety is going through the roof.
Oh my god. I don't care what anyone says. I like her. She's funny. I mean, she's probably doesn't like me, but I think she's great.
I'm not angry.
See, what did I just say? How many people in my audience deal with mental illness, and how many of them had to have been upset by all of this? Shouldn't have happened, and I know it shouldn't have happened.
Deity claims that so I see Ruby Violet saying someone mailed Deity a vape in the mail. He claims at one point a vape or whatever was like while he was working, like blew up in the parking lot. He heard like a loud bang, and someone came in with a fried vape and asked if he could throw it away in his trash can. I don't know if vapes explode, but I'm glad I don't vape. He's known to dramatize stories, but if a vape literally exploded, I don't want to mess with a freaking vapor pen.
And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to every one of you.
Anxious, I'm pissed off. You know,
Well, I don't know how to tell the difference.
yeah, I'm like a shit on a stick in July. Oh, by the way, I'm also writing a book that's called The Steel Hyena's Big Book of Recipes and Insults.
How to show the book.
Because I'm going to do sweary recipes in that one. Okay.
People who are messaging me real quick, I know you're doing it, but I cannot read it right now because I'm on my phone.
I've done nothing but burp in this stream and raise hell. I'm sorry if I got anybody anxious. I'm sorry if the fury that I unleash is an issue for people.
I think...
See, I hate that as well, because what I'm doing, or what I hear rather, what I'm hearing is Heavy Down.
All I'm going to say real quick, because what I hear from Heavy Down there for a second was, like, this big stream that's going on, huge incident, you use that moment to drop your book. I don't know, time and place. I'm okay with shilling yourself. Shilling yourself is fun. It's good sportsmanship. But time and place. Time and place.
Apologizing for how I acted, and I don't like that. And I'm sorry she had to do that.
We all need to stop for a second and just breathe.
Well, Anathan, I'm planning to actually maybe buy her book. I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet, but I might buy her book just to review it. Just to see what sort of insanity this globalist spews out.
I agree. I could lead a couple of minutes of mindfulness. It's what I do at the VA.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't want to see this escalate into something way worse than it needs to be.
I agree. I don't want anything hurting anyone else. I just
Deity,
don't.
Breathe, please.
Terrible. Oh, Jesus Christ, bananas, this guy is typing. He said, I was told he lied about me and told me I supported a racist, and I think we had...
What he's referring to is a moderator provided me with a screenshot of him in either Holly and Dead's or RSN's comments or whatever, and I didn't want it to become a bigger problem, so I hid him. But maybe I shouldn't have, because it became a problem anyway.
Not an apology, no. But that, I guess, he did at least acknowledge that was probably the bad idea. So, he definitely regrets his decision there. I imagine I would too if I was him. But we'll see. He acknowledged that in the beginning, saying something along the lines of they should have just kept an eye on it. Because if he'd kept an eye on it, he'd have seen that, okay, this is not a big deal. Nothing bad's going to happen. But at least that part he seems to have at least repeatedly hit on. So maybe that part will change. Maybe he won't be flipping out on random people in his chat saying that they are out to get him anymore. Maybe. If not, I'm sure I'll be hearing about it.
But you learn and you grow, right?
A misunderstanding. He has it wrong. I want to end this. No more videos.
Okay, I mean, I don't know about Deity, but if he can come on here and first of all, he needs to understand why Deity was mad. Does he understand that?
I know TDK. The
like
synchronized
fully
braiding.
understand why he's so angry.
Yeah, pardon the noise.
Because I don't want to see another one. I don't want to see another outbreak on his end because I feel like he's the one who crossed the line by bringing in his person.
Also, all of this is happening again. All of this is being brought up again, just like it was in the first place, by a former moderator who was taking advantage of this person's mental state.
What is being brought up again? Because a moderator's taking advantage of a person's mental state. Nothing is wrong with my mental state. And what moderators is bringing it back up again? I haven't found any idea of what he's talking about at all. I've seen some other YouTubers try to bring it back up. Okay. But I haven't heard anything about other moderators starting drama again. So, I got no idea what he's talking about.
For the sake of the fact that they are angry.
Personal life. And if you're watching this, YouTube Schizophrenic, please understand that you're not the only one that has some sort of mental illness. There are other people that do. And be careful. Well, so do I, but we have to keep in mind. What?
I'm like rocking back and forth. I'm like stimming a little.
Oh, we have to understand that we all have triggers, and he's already set Deity off.
Yes.
He doesn't need to set you off. I've seen you mad.
Yeah, I turn into a thunder fist. And he says, I will apologize again and ask him questions.
I feel taken advantage of, like for the stream being invited on and screamed at. No, I kind of suspected something like that was going to happen. I wasn't expecting to be muted. That's the only thing. As far as leaking the conversation that Heavy Down did, I wasn't taken advantage of because I treat every conversation like it's being recorded anyway. So I didn't say anything that I wouldn't say publicly. And yeah, that's pretty much all that. So I can't be taken advantage of because I'm always prepared. So perhaps if I had gone into that conversation without those intentions, yes, I would have been taken advantage of.
Okay, Deity, do you feel comfortable with that?
We don't want to hurt you, Deity. We really, really love you.
I don't know what stemming means.
Let's see where this shit fest goes.
I was so mad.
Did you just see him roll his eyes at that? Let's see where this shit fest goes. I actually thought that was a good line. You know, that's like I don't know, what's a good, that's a nice like intro, you know, like a nice introduction to the part. I don't know. It was a nice little segment. I liked it. But he rolled his eyes at it like he was just horribly, like he just cringed at himself. But I should just want to let you know, if you ever watch this, you should not cringe at yourself. That was a great line. I liked it.
At that point that I genuinely did not expect anything coherent to come from him.
Hello, can I talk?
You sure?
Right, once again, I will apologize for the thing. I only brought that up because it was you who made it public in the first place. You doxed one of your managers. I'm sorry for that.
What he's referring to is, like I said, I foolishly discussed this thing that I was dealing with in detail when my channel was a lot smaller because it was hurtful for me. And I had never had a YouTube channel before. I was used to social media where you vent and you talk about all your bullshit problems. He was there when my channel was small. Or smaller, rather.
I'm gonna mute you. Yes, I did bring it up because it was a traumatic experience for me, and that is what I am voicing. It was trauma for me to go through that every day of my life, and to see you bring it up for some petty internet shit. Do you understand what type of damage that does to somebody? I don't think you do, because if you did and you gave a fuck, you wouldn't have done it.
Anything that touches real life is off limits.
Normal people don't get necessarily affected by YouTube commentary that way. So, but whether or not I knew you would be affected that way is irrelevant. I operate under what normal people should be operating under, and not what the weakest willed among us should be operating under. Okay, if he wants to make videos about me and or anything like that, I'm not going to react like that.
I want to ask you a question real quick. When you banned me, did you then go on stream and then claim I supported RSN, that I was a plant the whole time, that I supported a...
This whole...
I want to say that too. I still don't know if he did or not. Okay, he claims he didn't. So if I could get proof of that, then there you go, he lied. He claims he didn't. He claims that never happened. So, I don't know. I can't confirm or deny it.
Plant mole thing. The only aspect of that I was taking seriously was the idea that somebody in mod chat was leaking important things to other channels. The idea that a viewer was a plant, no, that wasn't the thought. The idea that this person was going back and forth, commenting this, commenting that, just stirring up bullshit, that was my thought. That was what I was worried about. Because I didn't want it to become a bigger problem. But of course it did. It did. It always does. I just wish that I had handled the entire situation differently. That I hadn't allowed myself to become so angry, because that's never how you should act. With
advice. The only reason it became a bigger problem is because you sent me a massive wall of text that I had to talk about. You can't just send random viewers that kind of wall of text and then block them and then fucking, I don't know, someone was going to talk about it. So you were going to send a wall of text to somebody else and they were going to talk about it. So if you had just blocked me and moved on that said a word, I guess I would have had no tea to spill, would I? Just a tactic for next time.
people, like, you can't treat people like that. But then it leads me to wonder. So
oh yeah, you're right, Irish. He was laughing, he was reading chat, and his response to doxing his manager was like, oops, can't fix it now. And then yeah, he was encouraging people to call the store. I mean, all of that is very much so what was happening. So he trying to play it off that he just simply discussed it is definitely him trying to cover his ass. Primarily because, like, once again, the Dollar General threatened to put a warrant out for him. They probably are more pissed at him than me right now.
how do you treat someone who is doing this to you? Who is rallying up an angry mob essentially where you live, where it's very real. It's not just on the internet, it's not just a video, it's real. I don't know.
That's what I heard.
You just said that on stream.
Never once did I claim that you are a plant. I don't care about that. I said what you were doing, which was running back and forth between the two of us, and I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to be associated with it. I could tell right off the bat that you were problematic and that I didn't want you here, and that is my choice.
I could tell right off the bat I was problematic and didn't want me here. Didn't you just like claim earlier in the video that I provided intellectual insight or something to whatever we were discussing and was a little humorous? Now right off the bat I was problematic. I don't know. Maybe he's just being hyperbolic for the sake of arguing.
Okay, that's not the problem here. The problem is I thought you went on stream and slandered me. You hide all your live streams. So how the fuck am I supposed to know?
I don't understand this whole slander thing, because it wouldn't have been slander, because we have the screenshot of the comment that I am referencing.
Okay, what I just claimed happened, which was that you go on live stream and slander people saying that they support RSN, is a whole other different story from leaving a comment on a parody video from someone who's not even RSN. Where's the disconnect here? Where in the world does his brain disconnect from reality? Somewhere along the chain here, Deity got lost and has yet to come back to us.
And I am talking about what, in my opinion, comes off as support. And it's fine if he wanted to watch that channel and support that creator. But I was genuinely afraid of the drama between me and RSN getting worse, because of the people going from one to the other, and it happened.
Does it matter? I'm entitled to my opinion.
Okay,
can I say something?
People with lies. You're entitled to do that.
Okay, so you are not in RSN streams. You're not in his videos.
No, I was never in RSN streams. Okay, I went to Holly's Undead to comment on a parody and then said it was funny. That was it.
I have.
Again, I don't know what in the world he's talking about. Does he have the screenshots of me about the whole Vincent thing when he was the only one covering it? Oh well. I mean, if you didn't like it, you should have covered it.
Screenshots.
Yes,
Show me the
we're
screenshot.
in that stream. Okay, let's see if we can approach this level-headedly and from a position of honesty. You know, I mean, I know, and a part of this.
He's under the impression I was going back and forth talking about Deity. All I wanted to do was stir shit up between RSN and Deity. No. I have better things to do with my time. I was merely interested in the whole Onision circus.
I apologize for, Skits. Yes, I put you over, but I did that because I was scared to death that you were going to out something.
I really wish that I had done this video, like, in the days following, because even in the day.
I don't think he'll out somebody. It's not a secret that Deity is gay. He tells everyone what state he lives in. The fact that Deity is a homosexual man in the South is a very, very well-known fact. This whole that I'm outing a gay man is just absurd to me. The dude may as well put the fact that he's gay in his channel bio, okay? He sets every gaydar off in the book. I'm sorry to say that. It's not a secret. Even if he wanted to keep it a secret, it wouldn't be. So, either way. This whole I'm outing a gay man in the South is just absurd. Like, it's so absurd that I can't even rationalize how in the world they could come to that conclusion.
Days following this, I was having thoughts of regretting how I handled it. I was very sad and sorry for it. Like, I legit was. Just the thought of this person struggling with his mental health and being misguided and taking it out on me. And, like, what could he have done, or what could have been the outcome of how I treated him, you know?
Actually, I heard he's starting stuff with people in like, I saw something on Twitter that someone sent me that apparently, like, he was in someone else's stream, and I think it was Muse Talks, or not Muse Talk, but Plural Dolls, or whatever name they're going by now. I think it's that. They were in the same chat, and apparently it blew up into a big issue because they were in the same stream together. So apparently he still wants to cause drama with other creators and everything else like that. I don't know what his problem is. He should.
So I wanted to do it sooner. But lucky for me, it was brought back up, right?
That would have some damn mother showing up at Deity's house with a baseball bat. Not okay. Never okay.
Okay.
Language, but shit like that has happened to me.
So, when I was young, I was 16. And keep in mind, I grew up in an area in which discrimination based on race, discrimination based on sexual orientation, discrimination based on gender identity is very real. Very real. Never met a single trans person in my life in the community in which I live. I'm not saying there aren't trans people here. I'm saying they're probably scared. They're scared. So I grew up knowing very well the atmosphere around homophobia and homosexuality in this area. I was a kid that liked to stay home and read. I would read all the time. I went to the bookstore one day because I had some birthday money. And the book I bought was, I can't even remember the title, and this is such a disservice to this family. But it was the book written by the mother of Matthew Shepard about her son and how he was killed for being gay. So just having grown up reading that book over and over, sympathizing with these people who've lost their lives for their sexuality or their sexual orientation, being very aware of the attitude about homosexuality in this area, and then going through discrimination where I worked, It wasn't a pleasant thing. It wasn't a fun thing. It was torturous. To live every day afraid and not knowing whether or not you're going to be able to come home after a shift. And then to give up and quit the job that you loved for a decade because no one would help you, not even corporate. Knowing full and damn well that company has a whole mission statement about being an equal opportunity employer, about valuing the diversity of their team, and about absolutely stamping down on discrimination based on sexuality.
Interesting. He talks about basically as a gay man being hunted down, that he didn't feel safe coming up for ship. Now I'm going to pose a theory here. Okay? Maybe he's not wrong. Maybe he was being gang stalked. Now look, I don't know if people know what that is. That is the government, a lot of different theories about it, that they stalk and harass people. One of the things that I have read is that a lot of trans people and homosexual people are all stalked very heavily, and that's one of the reasons why their suicide rates are so high, is that they tend to get stalked very, very heavily, and they have, you know, they tend to have electronic harassment going on to make them super depressed and shit like that. So I'm gonna pose that theory that perhaps, just maybe, he is being gang stalked and that he is a targeted individual. So I don't know. Someone reach out to him and ask if he looked into that. I'm legitimately being serious because that's a real thing, whether people want to admit it or not.
All of that, and knowing it wasn't true because no one would help me. It sucked, but then I quit. I was sad about it. I cried about it because I loved it. I loved the job. I loved the regular customers. I felt like I lost. I felt like I gave in to something so ugly, but what was inevitably something so fucking powerful. And then I started doing stupid little commentary videos on YouTube. And like my channel took off a little bit for a little while. And I don't know, I guess it attracted the wrong people. And things went bad very quickly. And then this was brought up again at a time at which I was happy with.
Again, I don't know what he's talking about. Was he really happy? He was still whining about Vincent and still having problems at that point in time. I mean, he was still going off about it. So I think he's definitely got this rose-tinted glasses issue. He's rewriting history. No, I don't think he's been happy on YouTube the entire time I've watched him. He's always had a problem with something or someone.
YouTube. And then from there, things got worse, progressively worse. But just the thought that someone would be bringing up something that was so hurtful for me for the sake of video content, that hurt me. It was like I was having to go through it and relive it again, and I was. Especially because the people were contacted. Because they were riled up and made angry.
Again, I never riled anybody up. I don't think I left anything that could potentially rile people up. So if someone riled somebody up, it was not me. You're going to have to go track down somebody else. I didn't rile anybody up.
Me again? It was very hard to deal with. Very hard. But what I didn't do is think of this person. Wonder what makes him, I don't know, what makes him so willing to do this stuff to people. Wonder what he's going through emotionally and mentally and realistically on a day-to-day basis in his life. And I should have done that, and I shouldn't have yelled at him and treated him like he didn't matter. I shouldn't.
If you're wondering what makes me so willing and so capable of doing these things, it's because I have a very, very loose moral code. Well, you see, basic rules are don't hurt kids and don't kill people for no reason. Anything else is pretty much fair game. So there's your answer to that question.
I should have done that. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But honestly, I didn't know how to handle the situation appropriately. Because I was afraid and I was angry and I was irrational. Definitely irrational.
I had a stalker show up. My mother was in chemotherapy. Show up, scare my sick mother. Dude is like 6 foot
Okay,
5.
heavy down.
Explain to me how
Hold
that
on.
was going to happen for me.
Hold on. Can I and YouTube schizophrenic, I'm not trying to cause any problems with you. I just want to ask, when you were in whoever's stream it was, whether it was Holly's or RSN's, why was it funny for you when she was making fun of Deity and his life?
Shout out to Jesse B here for actually getting me a chance to talk and asking a very pertinent question. Okay, I owe her one for that. Oh yes, it's all my fault. I'm fully aware. But, nah. I mean, it's nobody's fault. It's just something to talk about as far as I'm concerned. He seems to take all this personally.
It's terrible.
Okay. If someone had made a parody like that of me, I would have laughed. I have a different sense of humor than people, but I've never been hunted down by another.
I don't really believe that. I think they would have found themselves in a similar situation to what I was.
I think you don't know anything about me. I don't think you know the first thing about my thought process because you've probably never even watched any of my videos. So the idea that you think that I would be so triggered by a little parody video or that one of my viewers liked it is absurd to me. I find that funny in of itself. I encourage you to troll me, to make parody videos of me. Hell, make videos exposing me. That's all fun. I enjoy it. It's all part of the game. I find that now I'm a little offended that you just presume to know me in such a way. Unfortunately for you, Deity, you are a bit of an open book to me and a lot of other people because you've got no filter. You just spew whatever is on your mind, even if it gets you in trouble. So presuming that you know me the way that I probably can figure you out is a little funny to me.
But he's going to go on to talk about being hunted down by a mod, and he has the wrong impression, and hell, he may not. At the time, I didn't think it was the mod that he claimed it to be, but it could have been.
It was, by the way, 100% certainty it was. It was, in fact, Michelle D who hunted me down. Now, when he said Trish was on hunting me down, I was like, what? Hold on. Now, that means my whole source was wrong. No. I'm fairly certain that I was right. And I'm glad he at least acknowledged I was most likely right. So, shout out to Deity there.
It could have been. But you know what I am so sick of, moderator or not? People coming to me every single time someone has something bad to say about me. People are going to do that. They're going to do that. And there's nothing I can do about it. I can't do this every single time someone does something to me or says something about me. I can't.
Another content creators, moderators, and then
I mean, you really can't. I mean, maybe not in the comment section, but you can respond to people making videos about you. People do that all the time. That's how you get in, like, YouTube wars and duels with people. That's riveting content. People love that kind of stuff. So keep doing that. But maybe don't pull things like inviting people on your streams and muting them and all that. You know, you gotta go about your approach a bit better. And definitely don't start screaming at people in your comment section and cursing them out before booting them. I've seen you do that to too many people. I wasn't booted publicly. I've seen you do that to so many people.
then put on blast publicly like that, ever.
Okay, I don't know what moderator put you on blast. I don't.
Since we're naming names.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay. Now hold on.
It was
Hold
actually,
on.
I mean, you smeared me. If you just banned me, I would have moved.
it was a boy the entire time kissing my ass was okay. And you know what? She's also kissing your ass now. And you know what? I have a right to ban people that I deem to be problematic. You have proven that you are problematic. And if I want to voice my opinion on you, I will. I have no problem with you.
I heard you got mentioned in this video, actually. I don't know if we've gotten to your part yet. He keeps refusing to use names except mine, because I've particularly triggered him today. But maybe he'll mention yours. I have no idea.
you voicing your opinion on me. I have a problem with you breaking the law and digging into my private life. You can't reason with me and tell me you didn't, because that's what you did, boy. And people like you want me to have respect for you and your mental health issues and what you're going through. All this time I'm supposed to tiptoe around you, but you have no recognition for what you were doing to other people.
Now that statement I do stand by. And it's not just him. There are other individuals. They want to put forth this idea that they have schizophrenia, they have dissociative identity disorder, or whatever the case.
I've already covered my part. Now I think this is where they're talking about you. So, yeah. I've already mentioned my whole thing with the schizophrenia. I don't think that whole thing's even real. So, we'll go ahead and assume that he's now going off on you.
Case may be. And they then think that that excludes them from accountability for their actions. I have depression. I have borderline personality disorder. I have a panic disorder. Does that not excuse me from taking accountability for this? Apparently it doesn't. It doesn't. So let me ask, how does your DID, or how does your schizophrenia, keep you from taking accountability for your words?
Where is he getting all this from? Who tried to use schizophrenia or DID as a excuse to not take accountability for their words? Does he have like an example of something that's going on? I know he has none for me, because like I said, schizophrenia isn't real. It's just something they label people so that no one will believe them when they're stalked by the government, electronically harassed, inflicted with mind control towers, and voice to skull implants, things like that. So where is he? Should show some screenshots of these things. I'm muted again? Is that what people are telling me? According to my thing here, I'm not muted. Can you hear me now? Okay, people can hear me now. Definitely, I'm hearing people respond to stuff I said. Alright.
For the lies that you're telling on me. Or, in this case, for contacting these people and putting us and our safety at risk. There's this weird double standard where people want this recognition and this free pass because they have this illness and that illness, but they don't want to have that same consideration for other people. They don't want to understand how my mental illness may have played a role in this or any reaction. I am very reactionary, I'm very angry, I'm very emotional. And right now, specifically at this point in time, I'm dealing with someone who is using their DID as a shield and as a get out of jail free pass for having lied about being victimized, for manipulating me, for now putting forth lies about me.
Again, you can't just say something like that. You really got to show like some screenshots or something. You can't just say something like that's the whole thing. Like accusing Trisha of trying to get someone into the sex trade. You can't just say things like that. You can't just say things like that. You gotta show something, or at least direct people to where they can find proof or something like that. Source your shit. I mean, this fucking guy.
The only thing I did to them was put space between myself and them. I stopped talking to them. But we'll get into that.
I never can respect that, and I can't. So that is another reason why you were hidden. And I'm done with this. I've said my piece. I don't care about your
my mental health issues.
Wait.
I don't care about your questions.
Tell him
I don't
that.
care
I was
about
gonna
you.
go tell him
I don't
this.
care about
I
your
didn't.
channel or
Yeah.
your existence.
You didn't even give me a chance.
I care about
I just want to
you into my life.
I don't want to be
I
talking.
care about you digging into my life.
I am done with that.
And if it happens,
Okay.
if it happens,
Okay.
I will be reporting you to whoever the I need to report you to.
Are
Because
we done talking about each other?
that is illegal. If I have to, I will report you.
Again, even if I did what he claims I did, which I didn't, it still wouldn't be a crime. I could still do that. Gossiping is not a crime. So, yeah. Which, by the way, I didn't even do the things he seems to think I did. Which, if I didn't even do those things, what crime have I committed? And good luck affording an international lawyer. That's all I'm gonna say.
you to whoever I have to report you to.
We literally have with him bragging about that,
Yeah.
about getting in touch with people in our personal.
Worst case scenario, okay, is that you somehow do get the globalist to come for me. Okay. Oh, I think we just lost the stream. But either way, I'll finish my statement under the impression we haven't lost the stream. Even if you do get the globalist to come for me, okay, I am a Baron of Sealand. Legally, I am a Lord of Sealand. So I'll just move there, and it's a free principality, and they will not extradite me. So I wouldn't even try it. Moving on.
Personal life. It's inherently disgusting, and I hope that these people realize that.
I don't care about what the audience thinks at this point. I'm talking about.
In that moment, I legitimately did not care. Because, like I said, that moment was born of anger. It was probably born of past anger. I don't know. It was born of anger and frustration, feeling powerless, and being scared for what could happen to me and my family. So no, because it had become a very, very real world problem for me, I wasn't caring about YouTube. I wasn't caring about an audience.
About someone who has taken it upon himself to bring up a stressful, traumatic event for me and to parade that around like a trophy. Like he has receipts and he's got prizes and he's got shit to just hand out to anybody. That's what I care about. You don't get to bring up.
Whoa. The accusation I handed it out to everybody is horrible. I would never hand it out to anybody. That's my content. That's my content. I wouldn't just hand it out to anybody. What kind of dumbass does that?
Up something that is so hurtful and so devastating from my past and try to use it against me because I hid you. Because you are in their comments, in their stream, supporting them. And that's what it came down to. You were coming to my stream saying this, going to their stream saying that, and I cut it because I don't want the problematic people around me. And of course, I was right. You're problematic. And therefore you go on to do more problematic shit. You've proven yourself to be problematic. I don't want this. I don't want association with you. But I am letting you know, regardless of what state you are in right now, regardless of what frame of mind you are in, I hope you can understand what I'm saying. If I catch another piece of info saying you are contacting anyone in my personal life, I will then resort to law enforcement. I will. Don't think that just because you're online and you're anonymous. No, boy. There are always ways. And I will resort.
Okay, you're the kind of person who thought his Mac was hacked. Okay, fun fact about my name, the YouTube schizophrenic, tweeting schizophrenic, yada yada yada. It was originally the scripting schizophrenic on a forum, which is invite only, so I don't mind spilling my name. The idea that he could suss out my location is hilarious to me. Hilarious.
To whatever I have to resort to ensure my safety, my family's safety, and the privacy that I deserve. I will do whatever I have to do, and I want you to be aware of that.
And I also think Mr. Video apologizes.
I don't want an apology. He's scum. An apology doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. It's just disgusting.
It's like I don't understand these people who want validation and who want sympathy for their mental health issues, but can't understand the torture that they are pulling up in another person's mind. If you can't see what you're doing to someone else, I am not going to respect you.
Well, what's disgusting to me is that in the same screenshots when he's bragging about reaching out to people in your personal life, he's bragging about being off the medication. Get the help you need.
Bragging? What is this lady talking about? This lady is crazy. No, I think JB, like I said, she's like his white knight, here to polish her armor to defend baby Deity. It's like I said from that joke from that movie. I'm the reason he's gay. I think that might be the case. I mean, it's hilarious. She is like there to fight all his battles for him. I think in his life. That's probably why he reacts the way he does to things.
Like, I don't understand. It's ridiculous. Like,
What you see right now with me settling down, I wouldn't.
I think that after this, I don't come back on, but I think they calmed everything back down after that. I mean, if he had just calmly had a discussion, I bet we would have worked out a lot of the nonsense that was being thrown around, and we probably would have came to an understanding.
Been able to do that without Lamictal. Thank you. Use it. That's what it's for. Nobody ever asked to have brain chemistry. That's just what it is.
That's very true. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, if I wasn't on Zoloft, and if I wasn't on Citalopram, and if I wasn't on whatever the fuck nerve pill that is, I would have probably killed myself as a result of stress.
Yeah.
And I am being absolutely honest. You don't get to bring up something so traumatic that happened in my life, bitch. My life. You don't get to bring that up as if it's some kind of receipt to post in a goddamn video. That is torture to have to worry about what these people who treated me so badly are now thinking to do, to worry that they may be coming to my house to affect my family because of you. You are garbage.
I'm just so sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. I don't know that there is anything else I can say.
I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna ask wholeheartedly to the audience to maybe refrain from sending anything like anything that may be in retaliation to this
Yes.
to Deity on Twitter, because I think it's only fair that we give him the closure that he needs and let him heal on his own. Because every time somebody is sending him this stuff, it just reopens everything all over again. And it's not fair. We all deserve to have that chance to have closure.
Yes, we do. And, you know, I wish nothing but healing. I'm still pissed off because, you know, you just don't do that. You don't. But, you know, it's not like I'm, you know, wishing to fall off a cliff next week. And
I don't want anybody to get hurt. I don't want anybody to get triggered. I know there's a lot of emotions running right now. Like, my heart is beating out of my freaking chest right now.
Yes.
But I know
That's
how
exhilarating,
bad
I'll
this
admit.
hurts, or I don't even know if it hurts, but it bothers Deity and it bothers the rest of us. And it's not fair that every time something closes, something else starts. And I think it's time.
He said something. I'm sorry to cut you off, but he has said something significant in my Discord. But I'm concerned about Deity, and I don't want to get his level up again. Do you think
Deity, what do you want her to do?
Yeah,
I just wanted to be put back on so we could actually talk.
he said, "I never wanted him in danger. I will just move on if he will. Everyone is out to get me, and I don't know what the truth is. All sides are crazy."
The truth is, we want you away from us.
There you go. I don't know if you heard what JB said. The truth is, we want you gone.
That's why we
hit.
That's all we had ever wanted. We wanted him gone. That's the point in hiding. That's the point in blocking.
I invite
That's all
people
I've
onto
ever
the
wanted
stream in the
any of
first
these
place.
situations.
That's
With
what I
these
don't get.
mods, I wanted them to be gone. That's why they were hit.
People can hear me. Why invite people on your stream if you want people to be gone? You don't invite them on. Like, you say, I'm harassing you, I'm stalking you, so you invite me on your stream? I mean, that's not really cohesive there. And then you flip the fuck out like that. I don't know. I don't get his thought process.
Hidden. That's why they were blocked. With Real Stream News, I wanted him gone. I had a conversation with him because he wouldn't leave. I wanted to find common ground with him and leave off on a decent note so he'd leave me alone. But he wouldn't.
Hid you. That's why we blocked you. That's why we hid you. That's why we have pretty much limited the access you have here. Because you are problematic and because you have hurt me in a way that I can never forgive. I can never forgive that. So I want you gone. That's all.
JB wants to say something.
The issue is that it seems like as an adult, after we banned you, move on. The issue with us is, I mean, it's common sense, I guess, to all of you probably by this point, but what's bothering us is the fact that after we removed you, you proceeded to make about 5 videos a day about him. Look into.
They're making video after video after video about me. 5 videos a day? Who has time to make 5 videos a day? What was I saying in these videos? Does anyone have copies of any of those videos? I was curious what I was saying. After all, I'm crazy. I'm off my meds. Who knows what I may have been spouting? I want to see it back and know what they're talking about.
Our personal life, make us feel unsafe, make me feel the need to delete my whole Twitter before I go insane. That's why I just don't even want to have anything to do with this at this point. These people are toxic.
There is no logic. There's no
garbage.
rationale. They
people
want to
are
be respected.
crazy.
They want to be cuddled because they're so fragile. But at the same time, they have the nerve to hurt me in an irreparable way. So all I
Who needs to be cuddled and who's being fragile? I mean, I'm not. He might be though. He needs to. I think Deity needs to be cuddled. Deity seems very fragile. I mean, he flips the fuck out on people who ask him questions in his stream chat. He doesn't have he doesn't have any business calling anyone what do you call it? Snowflakes or fucking saying they need to be coddled. I mean, again, the lack of self-awareness in this guy is absolutely hilarious. I'm gonna maybe I should make a video called Deity Criticizes Deity, and I should just play clips of Deity and then have Deity criticize himself. I'm thinking about doing that actually, but I'll probably get copyright struck.
All I want is for you to be gone. I don't want to see anything about you. I don't want to hear anything about you. I want you gone. That's all I want. All I want. And for the bitch that gaslit you, I hope you know the whole time she was sending me shit that you were saying too, boy.
Even if that's true, I treat every conversation like I'm being recorded. Nothing I said was even remotely inflammatory. So he's like holding that over my head. I don't even know if that's true. That makes me think it's not true. He's just trying to screw with me. So
I don't know. It just bothers me because you don't have to like him. You don't have to. You can hate.
But to put me in danger with something that was so traumatic,
the issue for me.
Okay. He has a few other words to say. Do you feel safe listening?
yes.
Hold on. Heavy down. Wait. Before you say it, JB, finish what you were trying to say, please.
I was just gonna say, like, first of all, Jessica, I miss you. I hope I can come out to Twitter someday.
I miss you too.
And I love and appreciate you. You know that. Another thing is, like yesterday when I went to the store, like we have to go to these stores. They're the only stores in our area. And when I went in the store yesterday that he used to work at, they had me and my mom feeling unsafe. Like, what if they told? What if they done? Like, you're making us feel unsafe.
they must not have much danger in their lives if that made them feel. If the few YouTube videos made them feel unsafe, they clearly live in some sort of sheltered bubble. Okay, I don't think they realize what it's like to feel unsafe. I hope they never find out. I hope this remains their biggest fear.
In our personal life, it's not right. That's all I wanted to say. It's just...
Okay.
Thank you for saying that, JB.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are people ready? Does anybody else have something they want to share before I read this?
No.
Nope.
After that, he said, that's fine. His mods were saying he smeared me publicly. That's all I care about. And I said, but you did to an extent and threatened to do worse. And he said, I made 4 videos. I never made 6 videos a day.
That's bad.
I will be gone. Let's end this stupidity. I said, that's irrelevant. It only takes 1 bad video. And he said,
none of my videos were bad. Okay, I find that personally insulting. They were at least average to good quality. And 99% factual, other than the whole, Dollar General aspect, which I am done with. I will clarify again, apologizing. So, calling them bad videos just isn't fair, in my opinion. You have to actually, debunk them point by point to call them bad videos.
I wish.
So it seemed to me that he was willing to acknowledge the wrong that he had done, and he was willing to leave and leave it all alone until recently. I don't understand that.
We had talked earlier. I did not know he was doing this.
Should
But my
ever go to the extent that you did to invade my personal life and to create drama, pain, fighting, unsafe feelings, all of that in my personal life because of what one person tells you. One person who's upset because they were stepping on toes and were hidden in the same way you were. If you had stayed gone, this wouldn't have happened. All I want is for you to be gone. I don't care whose stream you're in, who you watch. I don't give a I don't care. I just want you gone. That's all I want. You had no business overstepping boundaries and going into my personal life. All I want is you gone. That is it.
I would just like to feel safe in my own town again.
Yes.
Well, I would love that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not even kind of fair that you guys are put in that situation.
These people don't understand what I went through simply living in this area as a gay man.
Yes.
You have no idea what I went through or how much hurt and pain I had to live through every day to pay my bills.
Again, perhaps I will pose the theory again. Perhaps he is being gang stalked and he is a targeted individual. I have no idea. But the way he makes it sound like is that he's being targeted specifically.
and you have the nerve to pull that up for me? I want you gone.
He says, I once again apologize to Deity for the thing. I was misled and this is my fault.
Interesting you should say that, CT. YouTube Skirts of Fennec would be gone if you would leave it alone. But the thing is that I'm the only one he's named. Everyone else has been just that person or this person or that moderator. So clearly I'm still under his skin, living rent-free in his head.
It definitely is. So why?
I want these people. I want him to acknowledge that he's in the wrong, because I'm tired of people looking at us like we're absolutely crazy for this. We have the right to feel this way. Our privacy has been undermined. This is not right. I mean, I'm a pretty level-headed, peaceful person. If I'm saying it's wrong, it's wrong. I don't get upset much.
And I said, would you be willing to make a video with a sincere apology?
I don't request that you do that at all.
Because
I think it would be good for
that
him.
little retraction was the apology. It's the best you're going to get.
If that's what you're supposed to do, fine. But at this point, I want him just gone. I don't care about an apology from someone like that. I just want him gone.
Yeah, nobody is obligated to accept an apology ever. It's important to make the gesture, but if you don't choose to accept it, that is absolutely your prerogative and absolutely your choice, and nobody wants to take that from you.
I know, Denise, that it's because people are bringing the live stream up. It's also, if you notice, he censors all the language. Now, he forgot to put ads on it, apparently, but he censors all the language because he knows it'll get clicks. He wants the money. Like he says before, he's a commentary channel. That's what they do. So it makes sense that he would cover it. So I'm not even mad that he is. I would too if I was in his position. That makes sense, especially because the whole Amberlyn Reed, who's the other person, the Muslim fat chick, Amy something. Is it Amy? I don't know. Whoever he's covering now, they kind of seem like boring and dead topics, to be honest. At this point, so that makes sense why he would cover this. This is hot. This is news.
But I think it's important that he do this because it might kind of put a little water on the fires, as well as be good for him.
And I would also appreciate it if he apologized to our family as a whole for making us feel unsafe going in the store. I should be able to go in here and buy a bottle of water and a pack of chips without feeling like it's going to hurt me because of you. It's ridiculous. And here's the thing. Like I said, you don't have to love Deity. I don't even like him sometimes. We argue, we fight. But the thing is, it's like you brought our whole family safety into this, and I've never had a problem with you. I read your comments. I liked your presence. You know, I read your comments out loud.
Notice, Deity has pretty much said the same thing. JB has said the same thing. They enjoyed my presence. Then why pull the stunt, the wall of text? I mean, Jesus. Everyone seems to be giving me raving reviews up until I started making videos about them. Well, that should tell you a lot right there.
And then you have the nerve to, like, put our whole family at risk because you don't like Deity. That's not right.
Yeah, online stuff should never splash into real life, ever.
Exactly. I mean, that affects all of us. It doesn't just affect him. It affects me. And I've never been anything but nice to you.
Yeah, it's very terrifying. I mean, my mom
And it's
took
not
her hours
fair.
to calm down.
It's not fair that he's making everyone sound like a villain here when the truth of the matter is, when reacting to a parody or not, it was still hurtful. Like, that wasn't a parody, that was just spiteful. That was mean. And that's coming from someone who saw.
Exactly, plurality dolls. You know, people like this, they don't have real problems, and when they actually are posed with something that's a minor problem, they freak out like this. You know, I think if they actually had to encounter some real issues, that I don't know what they'd do, and I don't think saying what they would probably do is YouTube friendly. So yeah, I think that it's good that you should be proactive. You should be, you know, taking steps to, you know, do things to make your life better instead of sitting here and raging about it on a stream.
Saw the video and it was horrible. That is not funny, especially knowing how he feels about himself. You shouldn't have been laughing at it if you supported him. I'm sorry, you just shouldn't have.
Exactly.
But you know what? I don't even care about that because I handled
Are they
that.
talking
I
about
hit
that
him
lady?
and I blocked him. Yeah, the old lady that made that video about me.
Oh.
I haven't seen it, but I was told it was very disgusting. It was distasteful and it was offensive. So my thing is, you want to be in every single one of my live streams. You want to support me as a content creator, and then go behind me and support someone who was that vile and that disgusting. But like I said,
What's funny actually about that, Denise, is how they say I'm making them villains. I feel like I've been unusually fair here. I feel like I could have gone on here and just buried the guy 6 feet under, metaphorically, God forbid. I don't take that'd be taken out of context. Okay, and just played him off as Hitler on YouTube, mini Stalin. And I feel as though I have given him lots of leeway. I feel I have tried to come from an understanding perspective, although I have mocked him because he's absurd. This guy is a living parody. So yeah, I have been fair, I feel, in at least trying to take this as on face value as legitimate. Oh my god, I did it again. If you notice, I haven't disliked the video. I don't dislike videos, ever. I've never hit the dislike button in my entire, 10 years on YouTube. Ever. Because I just don't see the point.
I said, I don't care about that. I hid you. I blocked you. I took care of that. All I want is for you to be gone. And I still don't think you understand the ramifications of what you have done in my life. My life. I already don't leave this house as it is because I never feel safe here as a gay man in the South. And you have made it 20, if not 1,000 times worse. So I want you gone. That's all I want.
And wasn't he, not to bring it all back up, but wasn't he also in contact with the lovely lady that told us to kill our pet?
I don't know. I know he was in contact with her and was blowing
And that
smoke
whole
up his
thing
ass.
with the whole killing of the cat thing, it seems to me that whole thing was a giant misunderstanding that people just blew up into like a mountain out of a molehill. And they weren't even talking about Bear like he seems to think. So, again, this is what happens when you don't have the ability to actually talk to people, figure out what the truth is. 'Cause a lot of things do get lost in communication via text conversation. It's why I don't like responding to people in text form. It's because I feel as though the nuances of what I'm trying to say don't come across. That's why I did a facial thing on YouTube when I did my videos, is because you can see the 300 plus emotions that are on the human face at any given time, and you can see what I'm talking about, and know my what's the term? You can hear my enunciation and know whether I'm being sarcastic and things like that.
And spinning him on her finger. So I don't know.
I can tell by her actions that she's not someone to be trusted. She blew my Twitter up with 16 damn messages in a row. I don't even want to do it.
Yeah, that wasn't right, and I'm still really upset that JB had to feel like she had to leave the community. You didn't really do anything but come on and talk to us, and to feel that you were that uncomfortable, it bothers me. It truly does, because nobody should feel that uncomfortable on the internet. They shouldn't, especially you. You don't do anything wrong.
Exactly. I will be honest with you. I don't feel safe interacting with you.
Yeah, well, Ruby, if she tried to accuse you of saying shit that you didn't say and then refused to do it, that sounds like it's par for the course for both her and Deity to say that people said things and then not post any proof about it. And sometimes some of those things that they claim that they said are absolutely absurd, that you really should be posting proof for. So, who knows?
YouTube. I don't trust these people. I don't feel safe around these people. I don't feel safe on Twitter.
By the way, she's absolutely right. You shouldn't trust the people on YouTube, and you definitely should not feel safe around them. There's a lot of piranhas on YouTube. I've seen some dark shit. So, she's on the right track right there.
I don't feel safe interacting because I see how they treat him, and I know they'll do that to me by proxy. I do not feel safe with them. I just don't.
They have. And the thing is, I had something come into my mind that was important, and I wanted to speak to it, but then I forgot. So I would like to say, it's so blatantly and painstakingly obvious that this person has no idea of what he has done. This is reprehensible. It's immoral. It's something. I don't know how much of that you all wanted to see. I really don't.
Whole thing, unedited.
But he doesn't appear in it anymore. He doesn't say anything else during the stream, and the rest of it is just me, Jess, and Heavy D talking about other things. But that's it. That's the stream everyone is, I guess, talking about now. But I'm not proud of it.
it, you know? Like I've said before, I apologize.
Muted again, I think. There's still another 20 minutes left, so whatever he's going to fill this little bit of empty air with has got to be good, right? Because if that's not what you end with, then whatever happens next must be pretty interesting.
So, you would have thought that that stream would have been the end of it, right? Wrong. It should have been, by all rights. He apologized. He said he was done. And for the most part, he has been. And I've been cool with that. Haven't thought a negative thing about him. He hasn't
Same here,
bothered me
actually.
or anything. Directly after that stream ended, leading up till now, there have been other issues. You guys are aware of that. So like I said, Real Stream News played a role in that stream there. He was aware, he was watching all of this go on, and he just...
Oh, he, like, basically, I dropped my banner, and he, like, came sprinting up beside me, picked it up, and hook running with it. I saw that stream back, actually, what he was doing. That was hilarious. He was baiting him hard. I could see exactly what he was doing. And he baited the fish just right and scooped him on up into his stream for an interview. And I don't even think Deity just realizes how much he was played. But either way.
Decided to use it to his advantage. He started to make the same claims, knowing that it would hurt me, knowing that it would get under my skin. And it did. I was reliving that same hurt and that same pain all over and over and over. During the process of me speaking out against RSN, not only about what he was doing to me, but about what he had done to others, some of those people reached out to me. 2 people in particular, the others were warning me about, telling me that they're lying, that you can't trust them, that they're professional victims, that the victimization that they claim happened never happened.
Okay, who are the professional victims? You can't, again, no names are given. We don't know who the professional victims allegedly are. Who was warning you about the alleged professional victims? That's another thing, too. That's another piece of information we don't have. I don't even know who they're talking about. So, moving on from there, these people, the collective this person hive mind.
That they go from community to community seeking validation and yada yada yada. But I gave them the benefit of the doubt because I didn't want to be that person. And I engaged in conversation with them and they seemed alright.
Hold on. Let me read this because the person they're talking about is here, I think. Because I'm not sure who he's talking about, so I'm not even sure if we've gotten to that part. Plurality Doll says, New Year's Eve was the start. He fake apologized to me, wanted my story with RSN. I told him the first time I was on his streams that I was talking about the restraining orders in Washington only and barely. Yeah, I know you were on his streams at one point, and I didn't even know you all or whatever had issues apparently until long after the fact. So maybe I think that's what he's getting into now, though, if that's the case.
One of them I even let on my streams a few times. And it was all well and good for a while. For a while. The RSN stuff came to a head. And it literally got to a point at which I felt like I was being drove insane. I felt like, once again, I was being forced out of something that I loved. And it sucked. It sucked. It sucked.
No one was trying to force you off YouTube. In fact, I remember stating in my videos that we didn't want you to delete your YouTube channel because you are endlessly entertaining, even if you don't intend to be. So, I don't know what he's talking about. Who was telling him to quit YouTube? Imagine there were probably some people telling him he was too sensitive for YouTube, but I never said that. I was never trying to drive him off. I was encouraging him to do more content.
I felt my personal and private life being invaded. Just like they are now. People then were making up lies. I guess because they couldn't find any good dirt on me, so they thought they would make their own. And it was eating away at my soul. Not only did I have all of that going on, but I still really, really wanted this YouTube channel to work and to be something. I had allowed all of these people to put me into a position in which They were all I could worry about. Them. I couldn't make videos anymore. I couldn't think clearly enough to put together a video. So what I'm saying is I had the added pressure of a failing channel. Now I have a dead channel. All because
What is he talking about having a dead channel? His channel's not dead. I mean, if anything, his channel, I mean, he's probably taken a hit because people are done with him, but I don't think he's a dead channel. To call yourself a dead channel is a gross exaggeration. I mean, that's the king of hyperbole right there. My channel's dead. It's dying. It's bleeding out before my eyes. I mean, come on. Dead channel. You're gonna have a dead channel if you keep saying it because, you know, eventually if you say something long enough, it becomes real.
I let them do what they did to me. I allowed myself to feed into it, to react to it, to argue with every single one of them. Because I couldn't just sit back and not say my piece, right? But I could have done it differently. And I should have done it differently. The way I went about it was absolutely not appropriate. So, I was doing streams in which I was discussing arson, and I was discussing what he was accused of doing, and I was discussing what he was doing to me. Inevitably, this attracted...
He lied about my timeline and the whole edgy sense of humor. I did not interact with a single mod. Well, that's very interesting, because he's saying that all these mods had complaints about you. So if that is a lie, that sort of destroys his whole narrative, doesn't it? But again, he doesn't provide any evidence of any of this. So, I mean, he just expects everyone to take his word for it. And when you have worst case scenario, you have the reputation of someone who lies. And best case scenario, you have the reputation of someone who does no research and is very misinformed. Why should anyone take your word on anything? Something to take into consideration.
Did his quote-unquote victims, and they contacted me on Twitter. They are the ones who warned me against the other two individuals I mentioned earlier. But I already ended up with a sneaking suspicion because after a while it was very clear.
He asked for RSN's full docs and then never used it. When he got it from someone else for the FBI form, he literally just wanted the docs. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. He seemingly showed his true colors there when RSN kind of started trying to lure him out with the whole Dollar General thing again. I mean, I wonder what he would have tried to pull on me if I was less careful. So, be careful if you're a public figure with publicly available information and you try to make videos on Deity. He seems to be a little unhinged as far as that goes. So, maybe he wouldn't pull that on someone who had a cleaner reputation. Maybe. But the fact he'd do it at all is, well, it's very telling in my opinion.
Very clear that they were manipulating me. Very clear.
Also, I want to clarify, I know for a fact that he was threatening the docs RSN, and that he was, like, saying a lot of fucking horrible shit. He was saying the sort of shit that, made him seem like he was, he talks about wielding all these receipts proudly. Okay, he was wielding the fact he had RSN's docs and information, his IP, his address, and all that shit. His full name, I think he said his full name, but I think all that's public anyway. But either way, he was very, very proud of the fact he had all that information. Very proud. So, again, he's doing what he's accusing me of, he's already done himself.
They wanted me to make a video with one of them about how Vincent allegedly said inappropriate sexual things to one of them. They wanted to come onto my stream and discuss this and to discuss that, and when I would seem wary and not willing to allow them on, they would make statements such as, "I'm being bullied. You have to let me on. I'm a victim of this person and you're talking about him, so you have to let me on." Things like that. And it became very, very real and very obvious that they were manipulating me, and so much other things were said by them behind the scenes So many things were said by them in the streams, actually. So all of this was in my mind. And now on top of that, like I said, I was dealing with Real Stream News and what he was doing to me. So I decided I don't have to be the bigger person. I don't have to be the better person. I can sink to his level.
Muted myself. Hold on. Okay. Cat Trout Kitchen Table says, some viewer DMs him the names of people in RSN's chat and he read the fucking roll call out. And I do recall that happening. That did happen. He was reading out names of people in his chat and saying hello to them in his chat as well. Because apparently there were some people posting on both. I mean, it's, I don't know. That's a shit show and a half right there. I feel like I need both streams to watch them both at the same time, both RSN and his streams, to truly get the full story. But RSN kept the stream up. Deity refuses to, because of course he did. He's just like threatening to dox people. He's bragging about all these receipts and information. Why would you want to leave that up?
Because that's all that it's gonna work. When I acknowledged that I was having issues with Real Stream News, people came out of the woodwork, providing me with every screenshot in the world of every doxing that has occurred in his Discord, of every mocking of a victim that he's ever done on Discord, and yada yada yada, all that crap, all that.
Send it my way. I love information. Even if I don't do anything about it, I love information. I mean, does anyone know if he actually got sent all these horrible things, or is he just, or was he making things up at that point? Because he was saying in the stream he had tons of shit. There was this horrifying thing. I mean, I don't think he ever released any of it though, or made anything about it. I think he just, so he may have been hyping this whole thing up, and it may be a nothing burger. He may not actually have a bunch of receipts, and I know that he was claiming to. So who knows actually.
They provided me with personal private information about him, things that I had never asked for. Never. Stuff about his arrest record, all this, all that. So in a stream that I did, trying to have a conversation with him, I admitted to having all of that, and I said that I would use it against him, much the same way that he had used my personal information in my personal life against me. I sunk to his level, because I had truly gotten to a point at which I didn't understand why I had to be a better person than him when he could just freely treat me and do whatever he wanted to with me. You know what I mean? It just, you get to a point at which you'll do anything you have to do to make it stop. And I did. I threatened him with doxing, which, to be quite honest, I never had, at that time, I never had his home address. I never had any of that. I never had his nudes. I was scaring him into discussing.
Okay, so he never actually did.
He did.
At that time, he said. So he has RSN's nudes now, I guess.
Conversation. I made it very, very apparent. I said it many times. I'm not here to speak on behalf of the victims. I'm not here to invalidate their experience as victims. I'm not here to exonerate you of guilt. I can't say that you are guilty. I can't say that you are innocent, and that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to have a personal conversation about a personal problem. And that's what I did. He asked me at some point, have you seen the video disproving Sarah's blooper reel video? And I was like, no. And he described it, and I was like, I don't really know that that says much to me, but it might be an indication of something. But of course, that statement has since been used against me.
Oh yeah, the whole thing about the whole Sarah faking the video. I'm not too sure about that, honestly. There's a little bit of back and forth. Out of all the victims of Onision that are shady, Sarah is not one of them. Sarah and Billy are fairly clean as far as shadiness goes. So I would not throw them under the bus. I think the whole mirrored thing could probably be explained a little bit, and I think it's just a nothing burger, at least from what I can tell. Now, I haven't looked too far into it. I'm sure if there's another thing beyond just that one video about it, then I am not fully informed. But just going by that one video, I don't think there's enough to go around calling her a liar yet. Again, like, I don't think Sarah lied. Out of all the victims, okay, of Onision, I would consider her to be the most trustworthy. Her and Billy.
Believe that Sarah's lying. I also said that I agreed with him in the thought that once people get a taste of a community or a being on.
Yeah, I know he I know, Denise, that he trashes Muse and stuff like that in the stream, in the RSN stream, a little bit. I don't know if they name them or not, but yeah, I definitely got that impression.
On a stream or whatever, and you hide them, they go crazy and they start lying, because it had happened to me several times leading up to that point, and I was agreeing with him. I wasn't agreeing that that is what occurred in the instances of his victim.
Well, Kanish, about Shiloh flipping out on people, I don't really care about that. You know, I've told people to kill themselves on the internet before. Chances are I'll end up doing it again at some point. As far as Shiloh goes, though, as far as Shiloh goes, I think that the worst thing she's done so far is basically sending things to RSN implying that she's gonna kill herself. That was yeah, that didn't go over too well. So I would highly recommend that she stay off the internet. That clearly she is unhinged a little bit right now, and probably needs to just go enjoy some real life. You know, I don't think it's. I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. I don't think it's healthy to sit there and constantly talk about your abuse every fucking day the way that she does. Like, she basically is talking about Onision every day. If it's been 10 years and you're still going on about them every day, they own you. Okay, I think she should have been, you know, if in the background, dropped some statements here and there, but she was involved in the community. She was like, I don't know. Onision, like I said, it feels like Onision still owned her. You know, I don't feel like any other victim it was as still under Onision's control the way she was. And I feel like that's really starting to wear down on her. And some people really should not be on the internet talking about their abuse constantly, because it's just not healthy. I'm not a professional, but I just doesn't sound healthy to me to constantly be harping on it. Even if you were wrong severely, maybe just do your best to put it behind you. Just my personal opinion.
Victims or alleged victims, I was agreeing that it is an occurrence that I was familiar with, that I understood what he was saying, that I had been through the same thing, just to a very, very smaller degree than him. And on my mind during this conversation was thoughts of these people that had been manipulating me just to have access to the audience that I had at the time. And they were, like I said, they were saying things behind the scenes, and they were bogging me down mentally. Like, damn, I have my own issues, my own mental health problems, my own problems. They were pulling me down on top of Real Stream News and everything else that was going on. And I said in that stream that I had intended on putting distance between myself and these people. But it was weird. These people, like I said, kept coming to me wanting me to interview them and do videos about this and videos about Vincent and videos about... It was weird. I don't know.
Well, you know, I mean, a lot of people do that because they want to get their message heard, and most of the time, YouTubers will take that stuff up just because, you know, content, it's views. So I think they were operating under the idea that you were like most people on YouTube, but clearly you are not.
What their goal was. I don't know. I said, I'm going to be putting distance between myself and these people, because that is what would be best for me. But somehow that's a crime. Somehow that is invalidating their experience as a victim. But what's so weird about their quote-unquote experience as a victim is that one of RSN's actual alleged victims, who was doxxed on his live stream that time he showed the nudes, they came forward and they spoke to me and my moderators in a private stream chat. And they told me that the one individual that I am referencing now, who has gone on to say some horrible things about me, horrible things, horrible lies, is actually lying about the abuse that she allegedly suffered at the hands of Real Stream News. this person came forward and told me that this individual is lying by saying that he showed a naked video of her on his stream and that she actually had on a latex bodysuit and was clothed. If that matters, I don't know. I don't care. It was troublesome to be told by somebody who is close to that person that I needed to be careful, that I needed to distance myself from them, that I couldn't trust them, that they would eventually find some way to victimize themselves from me as well. And that's what they did. They took me saying I was done speaking with them as an indication to then victimize themselves and somehow claim that I had done it, I guess. I don't know. Like, this is the same individual that has gone on to tweet me almost all day, every day, who has had her flunkies and her lackeys tweet me all day, every day, who has come to my comment section, who's come to my live streams, who's messaged me since all.
Again, is this a big deal to you? Are you all upset about that? Even if what they're saying is true and all of their flunkies are coming after you, so what? So what? Is that your biggest problem in life? So much so it's got to upset you this much? I don't know. I feel like everything gets turned up to 11 with this guy. He's great though sometimes.
All of this with just the most awful, absurd shit. And yet I'm the bully. When the only time I mention it is after usually the 300th tweet and I've had enough. So there's just this weird idea right now that if someone has been the victim of abuse by a YouTuber, they can't also be a liar or a manipulator. And that's false. I went through it. I went through it with this one individual, and even the people closest to her. The people who are also claiming to have been victimized by RSN, they know it. They are warning people about her. And they won't come forward and be honest about that.
Well, that's interesting. If they're talking about Muse, so, like, what? The other people for RSN don't like Muse? Is she on, like, the outs with them or something? That's, there's lots of layers to this. There's apparently lots of backstabbing going on here. I don't have any information on any of this, so I can't really comment. But it just sounds like a shit show and a half.
I don't know. Just recently, someone came to me and told me that this individual is now trying to claim that I sexually abused her. How? I never met you. I've never seen any nude photos of you. I'm a gay man. I'm only interested in...
Okay, you gotta show some receipts here to, like, who accused you? Where did they accuse you? Was it a fake screenshot? I mean, you gotta double check these kinds of things. Because didn't someone try to lie to you and say that RSN accused you of molesting kids, and you blew up about that and made a whole video that you then took down about it? I haven't mentioned that yet, but yeah, he made a whole video going through his whole sexual history and all the people he slept with. And then was using that basically as a framework to say that he hasn't raped anybody, he hasn't raped any kids, that he likes grown men. And basically it got found out that RSN was never saying that, and there were some people spreading shit, and it looks like he took the video down. So if people are faking screenshots and shit like that and sending it to him, he really needs to double check these things, triple check, because you can't just say that someone accused you of sexual assault and then not show proof of it either, even if you don't name them. Just like the idea that it happened. Otherwise, it just sounds like you're shouting into a void about nothing. I don't have a copy of his video that he made there. Okay, I didn't want a copy of it. I was disturbed hearing this guy go on about every one of his boyfriends. I really did not want to know any of that. So I will not be doing a reaction to it because I don't have it, and even if I got a hold of it, I don't think I would either.
Fully grown men, typically older than me, typically on the masculine side. I'm only into men. I have no attraction to you. I have no sexual interest in you, and I never have. Never. And to be quite clear, I'm a bottom. So
I'm a bottom. Okay. No shit. Everyone could probably guess that. But thank you for sharing. Jesus Christ. Oh, this dude is something else. Don't ever stop, Deity. Don't ever stop. Oh, that killed me.
Only a bottom. I've never been the, how can I word this appropriately? I have never been the active sexual partner in any situation. I'm always the passive one, if you know what I mean.
Got it. If you aren't pegging him, he ain't interested. Thank you for sharing once again.
I have no interest in you. None whatsoever. I didn't even want to communicate with you anymore. Because it had become less of a friendship and more of a burden. And I was done. And in the beginning, I was very polite about it. Whenever anyone would ask, I would simply say, she's doing her own thing and I don't want to be
To be clear, that video he made going through his whole sex life was just as detailed as this. In fact, more so. But he was going through each relationship. Why that video would be uploaded, I don't know. Maybe some people just like to overshare.
part of it and yada yada yada. That kind of thing. Very polite. It wasn't until you started making these weird accusations about me that made no sense that I also became angry. I should have ignored you. I shouldn't have engaged you. Because I don't know, it's almost as if people see me engaged.
I'm actually gonna White Knight Muse here. Okay, I did go through her channel slightly, I didn't go through all her videos, but I looked through, like, I skimmed the list just because I was curious, because I didn't really know who this person was. And I didn't see a single video where they were talking about victimization. I saw like a lot of mental health videos and them sharing their personal stories. I don't really know what they're talking about, what he's talking about.
You and becoming angry as validation for what you're saying, and it's just not the case. It's not the case. Other than that, I really don't know what your issue is with me. I really don't. Everything that I've ever said, you've associated your name to. And even if you do suspect that I'm talking about you, everything I've ever said has been a direct result of what someone has said about me. I'm not out here just randomly talking crap about people. I'm speaking.
Yes, you kind of are. I mean, anything someone says, you basically take it at face value and then criticize it. Don't even try to word yourself in such a way where you can get yourself out of a fire if someone were to call you out on it. You see, whenever people try to bring me things, unless I'm 100% certain about them, I try to be like, oh, well, if that's true, or, well, if that's the case. I always try to be careful about that because, I'm not saying people are lying, but they could be wrong. Misinformation goes around. A fake screenshot, all it takes is one fake screenshot, and then all of a sudden everybody can be convinced of something. I should know. I'll go ahead and share a personal story. Remember I said my name was the scripting schizophrenic on a old fucking hacker forum? One of the things we would do is compromise people's accounts and fucking put up fake screenshots and stuff like that to fucking cause chaos. Okay, it's very easy. Very easy. It takes less than 5 minutes. So, he needs to quit being so naive and definitely double, triple, quadruple check things.
Out in defense of myself. And people don't seem to understand that. It's just like ever since Vincent proved to be a completely horrible person, one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other of the people that I have allowed myself to become close with on YouTube have proven themselves to be garbage. With the exception of RSN, because I was never close with him to start with. That's what I mean when I say that. So in the future, I don't think I will be working with anyone else. I don't think I'll be having anyone else on streams. Because it's like this weird sense of ownership develops in these people. And then when you decide enough's enough, they don't like that. They then proceed to run a huge smear campaign and team up with the others that have also made the same mistakes as them.
Smear campaign? What are we smearing the guy about? What are we smearing the guy about? If he had done a response video to me or something like that with his own version of these things, with the receipts and everything, that's how it works. That's how the game is played. That's how YouTube Wars/duels go. But you can't just claim it's a smear campaign. Take my word for it. But anyway, I feel like I've said that a few times now.
Them and gotten hidden. So now, I guess I can't have friendships with people I meet through this anymore. And that's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
Right, Denise wants to ask something. What is that? Are you trying to ask me something, or are you trying to ask, Alright. Real quick. As far as he seems to think that all these people are teaming up against him, that's just crazy.
But most of all, what is troublesome to me is the person that I've allowed myself to become, the actions that I have taken in response to all of this, and how I've allowed this to happen to the community that I had created, to the channel that I loved. And I'm so sorry for how I have behaved, insofar as how I've reacted to all of this, because I have most certainly been reactionary. I have.
Just an FYI, you didn't have a choice but to be reactionary. I'm actually going to defend you here. You didn't have a choice but to be reactionary. We were going on the offensive. Well, I mean, in terms of YouTube videos, we were going on the offensive. We were the attackers here. So, you were the defender. Now, you could have done a response to the video, of course. That would have been the proper reaction to defend oneself. But you didn't do that. You did what you did, as far as just screeching into a camera on a live stream. So, them's the breaks.
Not really sat and thought things out. I've always just reacted out of anger in a split second, and I apologize for that. I'm sorry. I really hate that I've done this to this channel and this community that you guys have appreciated. I just want you to know that in the future, I'm going to be more careful about how I respond to people. And I'm going to be making steps to improve this community and improve this channel and improve myself. I've already been working on.
I hope that's the truth. I hope you clean up your act and clean up your moderator's act as well. Because otherwise, I have a feeling you are going to be in for a very, very long couple of months. And that's got nothing to do with me either.
How I react to things. Tonight was my first slip up, but that's because I had gotten so sick and just so bogged down with it today on Twitter. I think I'm going to be deleting Twitter. But
It's not deleted Twitter, by the way, as far as I'm aware.
I'm sorry. Like, when I watch myself in the videos that I posted in the earlier days of this channel, it's so obvious that was a better time and I was a better person then.
I don't know about you being a better person, but it was definitely a better time for you. I mean, New Year's Eve stream broke you as a human being, I think. I mean, you just have been off the rails, living in some paranoid delusion since then. I mean, I missed that stream. So, I don't know exactly, because I've watched your edited version. I don't know the full extent of what was happening, but you just have not been the same. You know, Vincent stole part of your soul that night.
I have sunk so low, and I have become so willing to engage these people when they come at me, that I've literally allowed them to tear down the comfortable community that I had built. It's like I've become this angry, horrible person, and now I just keep reacting out of anger, and I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't speak to people like that. And I know, because that's not how I do things in real life. But it's not often that in real life you have somebody walk up to you and say some of the shit that these people say online, whatever the case may be.
You know, I would say everything I've said in real life. I mean, he seems to think that we're a bunch of internet tough guys. I mean, the harsh reality of it is that I don't really care. It's just what the truth is the truth, and the facts are the facts. I mean, if he's got a problem with me saying them, whether it's on the internet or in person, I mean, nothing he can really do about it, is there? So his idea that, you know, that these people wouldn't say this to me in real life, no, we would. I mean, I would. I'm sure Roger Brown would too, and then dare you to do anything about it. So I highly doubt that you're some intimidating force that's gonna scare away all of us.
It's just gross. It's gross. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to every one of you. But I want to make it very clear what I'm actually sorry for. Because there are quite a few people making accusations of things that I have supposedly done that are so outlandish, that are so false, y'all. And it makes me sick to think about it. What I am apologizing for is my words, my anger, the vitriol and the hate that I have responded to people with.
Well, at least as far as I'm concerned, I'd have been angry too. As for the random people in your chat, you should apologize. You're off the rails, buddy. Screaming at random people in your chat. I've never seen that go down in anyone else's stream. Even Stevie Wolf doesn't scream at people in his chat the way you do. Or at least when he does, he's so entertaining about it that even the people who giving him shit generally laugh about it and don't get muted as far as I'm aware. So, I'm just saying, you need to take a chill pill.
Because I let it get to me. I'm sorry. And I'm gonna do better. Not for the people who are here to cut up and have fun and poke at me and whatever. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it.
I'm cutting up and having fun. It's okay to poke at the streamer a little bit sometimes. I mean, it's all about how you go about doing it. I do it in such a way I try to make the streamer laugh. Okay? So, he needs to, I don't know. He needs to stop thinking that everyone's malicious. Everyone's trying to get him to freak out on stream, so that way so then he freaks out on stream in response.
Doing it for you all who are here because you want to be here, because you're genuine in your support of me and this channel. I'm sorry to every one of you, and I hope that in the future there's not going to be anything else that I have to address, but I already know there's something coming. That individual that I mentioned vaguely earlier that tries to use her, DID as an excuse for her behavior and the lies that she tells, she's intending on making a video about me. And so I was sitting there to myself thinking, what is it that you're going to make a video about me for when you don't have anything on me? Because
now that video actually has been released, and you know what? I'll go ahead and, since it's relevant, I'll go ahead and actually see if I can link it real quick. But she does go over her side of things, and for the sake of providing accurate sources and everything, I will link that video so that everybody can watch it and get her perspective. Since we're about done here anyway, it looks like. Alright. Let's wrap up the ending here. Oh, are you trying to say Deity is muted? Have I muted Deity? Not intentionally. Interesting. Okay. All my things say there should be sound. Oh, that would be why.
never had an interest in you.
There we go.
Never. In fact, all I've wanted from you is for you to leave me alone. That's it. Genuinely, leave me alone. Do not send me any more messages. Do not send me any more tweets. Leave me alone. I don't owe you anything. So why are you here? Other than that, guys, to the rest of you, I am sorry. Even to YouTube Schizophrenic, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have reacted that way. In that stream, you apologized to me for what it was that you did to me. So I want you to know that I am so sorry for how I spoke to you. And for anyone else who is suffering with a mental illness, just know that you're not alone, because I suffer with them as well, obviously. But I shouldn't have said those things, and if you took offense, I apologize. I'm so sorry to all of you. But like I said, I want you to know that I have been a very reactionary person, and I have been working on that, and I'm going to continue to work on that, and I promise that to you. I promise.
Well, there you go. That was a direct apology to me. I mean, I didn't take offense. I mean, I don't know if you accepted my apology about being wrong about the Dollar General thing or not, but I do accept your apology about that whole thing. I'm not worried about it. As for your audience, they seem to be very worried about it, but that's the sort of community you seem to have built there, where they're worried about those kinds of things. But no, I didn't take offense. I'm not in the least bit worried about it. I think that, you know, I understand yelling. I would have yelled too. It was probably very cathartic for you. I bet you felt a lot better, at least initially. The next time, don't boot people. Don't mute them. You know what I mean? Go ahead and yell. That's fine. I'd have yelled back. We had a nice yelling match. It's fun. But you definitely gotta, you know, cool everything down and talk at some point. Once you've got the initial cathartic, you know, screaming out.
And I already know that there are other quote-unquote content creators that are going to have a field day with this, but let them have their fun. Let them have their fun. At this point, I am exhausted. I'm exhausted. It just sucks. It sucks because I've been fighting. I've been fighting to keep this channel and to make it work. I've been fighting just to disprove all the negative, hurtful, lying bullshit people are saying about me every single damn day. I'm tired. And I'm not going to keep doing it because I can't. I'll kill myself doing it, you know, just from the sheer effort. Can't keep doing it. So I promise you guys I will be better. Thank you so much for hearing me out. Thank you. I'm hoping that this will get this off my chest and will allow me to make other content. But I don't know. Bye, guys.
There we go. Wow. That was something. Am I right? Well, as far as that goes, I don't have a whole lot to say, like I said. I mean, he seems genuine. Now, you can be genuine at the time and then turn around and do the same thing a week later, which I think is going to happen. That's my prediction, is that within a couple weeks, he'll be right back up to his old tricks. But I enjoy the sentiment in a vacuum. Oh, yes, I agree with the bunny. He does live for the drama. Hey, Candy, you got here just in time for us to wrap up. Now, I did link to that thing. I heard I saw someone say they don't click random links. So I get that. I don't do it either. You can look up plurality dolls on YouTube and you can find the video. It's like third in the list, I think. So yeah, you can do that. The video goes over their sides of what happened. They obviously know more than I do. Yeah, I'm very skeptical of it too, CT. I think that this whole thing is probably going to be, not necessarily with me, but he's going to start drama with somebody else. And, you know, it's just the way of the thing. He can't be just a reporter of the drama. Or a commentator. He has to be part of the story. You know, the problem is that when the journalist becomes the news, it becomes a problem. See, that's why I've made the rule, no more cow tipping. I'm not going to interact. If I get invited onto a stream, it's going to be a little bit more planned out and everything else. And I don't plan to start any drama with any other YouTubers. So, definitely got to tread lightly as far as he's concerned, too. If he invites me back on, you know, I doubt he will, though. I wouldn't invite me back. There's no point. So, unless there's anything else that we need to cover, I'll probably wrap this up. We've been live probably for quite a while. Yeah, we've been live for 3.5 hours. Wow. So, yep. There's anything else? Yeah, I've seen some things on Twitter about him. Yeah, I've by the way, the globalist memes, all those 9/11 memes that I keep seeing, okay, those are great. I love them. I absolutely love them. I don't know if he likes them. I'm sure he's probably all triggered about it, but they're great. If someone made memes like that about me, I would be dead. I'd fucking, if I had a community tab, I'd post them there. Yeah, I know he's been starting drama with someone named Nicholas DiOrio, and that he got in his comment section and shit like that. I also know he was starting stuff with the Alex is Shook guy, who called me mentally handicapped. Shout out to him. I'm a mentally handicapped individual. So, yep. Unless there's anything else, I do believe I'll wrap this one up. Oh, it's good timing because CT's got to go watch her fight. Oh yeah, the sacrificing of the baby one is good. I almost set that as a thumbnail for one of my videos, but I was like, oh, I'll just leave it alone. Let that exist in a meme form. He's terrified of an asteroid coming? Interesting. I need to look into that. I've been so obsessing about the coronavirus that I haven't even considered what's coming from the stars. You know? The idea that the globalists are going to have their breakaway society in the stars is a possibility. And if they're directing a meteor towards Earth to kill us all, you know, they already have child slave colonies on Mars that need to be fucking destroyed. So if they are actually going to do that, I need to definitely look into it. Alright, good night, CT. We will probably be wrapping this up now. So, alright, well, thanks to everyone who came. I had fun. This was harder to laugh at than the previous one, of course. But I had fun. So, alright. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as is tradition, and I will see you all next time.